problem, sir, is you fundamentally misunderstood the difference between associating in the community and participating. Oh, please stop cutting me off. I can tell that when you do that, you're getting increasingly upset. I allowed you to speak. You cut me off twice now, even more upset. So anyway, as I continue my statement, a third time I see. So also, I don't need your fake condescending laughs to hide your anger. So the problem, a fifth cut me off. Nice. Are you going to continue to do it, or are you going to let me finish my point?
That's so true.
Another fake laugh. He continues to laugh as he gets more and more awkward, knowing that my rebuttal here is about to crush everything.
I have lost this debate. I can see.
Absolutely. Am I going to be able to finish my sentence, sir, or are you going to continue to cut me off with your snarky remarks?
I'm sorry. It's kind of funny.
Oh, and now the fake laugh
Come on,
comes
it's
out.
not my fault.
Listen to the anger rising in his voice as he sees
That's so true.
earlier saying he had to growl in his voice.
I'm pounding my table.
Oh, and now you think the fake anger is going to mask your real anger, sir?
You're right. You've uncovered me.
I have. So the problem is and he cuts me off once more. He's scared to let me finish his sentence. Hi, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Right. Yeah, you quote tweeted me saying like in quotes guilt by association, then like in all caps like what lol with a bunch of question marks afterwards, right?
Oh yeah, I said that because I don't guilt by association people. I thought that was a really funny way to analyze my interactions with people, but
so when you were like saying to Avi that he's part of the Ask Yourself universe, that's why you don't want to associate with him, that wasn't like guilt by association?
No. That was actually part of the Discord servers and groups that he's in. Like, if I say that, like, you're friends with Nick...
connections, is the people he's connected to his associations.
Okay.
If I say that...
Do you recognize, if I say, you're a Nazi because you hang out with Nick Fuentes, that's guilt by association. But if I say, you're a Nazi because you're in the same Nazi group as Nick Fuentes, that's not guilt by association. That is what you are, right?
You think that Dr. Avi is a Nazi? Of course not. What's the connection here? Like, I'm sorry, like you think he's like, what is the aspect of hanging out in the Ask Yourself universe that makes him like a bad person?
How old are you?
Why is this relevant? You can't address my points?
I just, my mind just got fractured into a million pieces. Okay.
Well, I guess it sucks to have your mind fractured into a million pieces by a simple fucking question, doesn't it? You answer the question.
It's the worst way to have your mind fractured. Okay.
Well, that's crazy. So can you just answer my question?
Yeah, wait, okay, yeah. What I was saying was that, like, I wouldn't call somebody a Nazi for hanging out with Nick Fuentes. But if they were in the same Nazi group as Nick Fuentes, I would call them a Nazi, okay? I don't call Dr. Avi a debate lord or whatever. I don't even know if he is, because he hangs out with Isaac, okay? I used to be a part of that Discord, and my understanding was that Avi, along with Isaac and the other people, are all like huge debaters in the Discord, and I don't want to associate with like that group of people. That's it. He's not. It's not just because he's friends with them. I thought him and Isaac were like the two like biggest dudes in that server. That was my understanding when I was there like 4 or 5 years ago. I thought that's how it was. Am I incorrect in that assessment?
That he was one of the biggest guys in the server?
Yeah, that Avi and Isaac were like
my knowledge he is, but your point was that he was like part of the Ask Yourself universe.
Yeah, he's part of that.
It wasn't like the server he was in. It was the fact that he was like associated with AY.
What is what is that server called?
I have no idea.
It's called the Ask Yourself Discord. Yeah.
You said he's part of the Ask Yourself universe. We both understand what that means, right?
It means that he's like actively part of like that whole like debatosphere. I just don't associate with those people.
You're part of the debatosphere. I don't know what
I'm absolutely not. Like that kind of shit.
You were one of the, before you left, you just said you were in there, right? You would have been the biggest guy in there.
Yes, before I left, I did. I used to be like a big internet debater. I still like debate people. I like doing it, but like that type of like, get the logical fallacy connection between A and B as a non sequitur. Like I don't do that shit anymore. I haven't for like years. That was like 20.
Avi does that?
I don't know if he does or doesn't, but I know that he's very close friends with Isaac, and I know that he used to, and I know that
he's very close friends with Isaac. That's your evidence that he does this.
I was just giving it all, but you're like cutting me off to try to make like an epic internet point.
You just said his friend. You just said his friend is the reason why he's guilty here. You're like his association is the reason why he's guilty.
It's not his association with the friend. It's that he's part of that friend group. He's part of the group of people that all do that.
This is guilt by association. He's part of the friend group.
Bro. You need to associate your neurons with each other, okay? Fire them off, okay? Listen to what I'm telling you.
You're unhinged. I have no idea what the fuck you think this is like not guilt by association. Like
if I could say that he was part of it.
Call it something different, and maybe you could get on board with this. Is he like his associations with Ask Yourself and that friend group of people, right? Is the reason why he's doing something that makes you not want to associate with him. That's the thing he's doing.
It's because of the group that he's in and what they do, him included.
Isn't that what he just said?
That's not association. That's an action.
And what he does? What does he do?
He's one of the big debater bros in that sphere.
You were saying like you were saying he does. You don't even know if he does the like logical fallacy, bro thing.
I don't know if he does anymore, but he used to. Him and Isaac were the two biggest debate. Wait, hold on. Wait. Do you even know anything about this server? Do you even know what the fuck what you're talking about?
This is just another personal jab. Like I don't really. It doesn't matter if I like don't know enough about the server to like talk to you about it.
I just had
you're saying like he's guilty by his associate. Hold on. You just asked me a question. Let me answer.
Go ahead and answer it. Okay. I'm in a great mood tonight, so I'll be patient.
So in the case of like the claim you're making here is that like you don't want to associate with Ask Yourself or have any kind of You there? You server mute?
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. No, if there's something you have to say, you can go ahead. I don't want you to like play piano over me like you did with Jack Angstrom.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so there used to be a server. I think there still is one. It's called the Ask Yourself server. Okay, it was. I don't know if it was the largest vegan server on Discord, but it was like one of the biggest like ultimate debater servers. The whole reason why people go in there is to debate about veganism and then stuff related to philosophy and ethics. That's what people do. It was literally like a meat eater would show up and they'd be like, "Oh, it's debate time! It's debate time!" and they'd go to the Discord or whatever. Now, I used to be like one of those like big debater people. It was funny. Like there are times where like I have videos of me in bed with a girl and like somebody pings me to go in here and I'm like on my laptop like telling her to like chill out and I'm arguing with these people because it's like fun. Because I was into that debato shit a ton. Okay, so I was part of that server. I'm very familiar with how it used to work. Isaac Daddy would show up and like bully the fuck out of like these carnivore dipshits. Abby sometimes would as well. Like I remember seeing this shit happen all the time, and it was funny, and it was like okay, and I was like okay, cool. But eventually, like I've kind of like moved away into more like conversational bridging divides kind of shit is like what I do. I'm not part of like a hardcore debatosphere. Now I've still like entertained some conversations, but a while ago, Isaac asked me to debate like a friend of his, and it was a really weird off the wall, that Jack Angstrom guy. The conversation was like incredibly bizarre to me. The guy did a ton of lecturing. He seemed a little bit autistic. I don't mean that as an insult, but like genuinely, like the conversation was bizarre. And afterwards I was like, okay, cool. He was like walking around the city explaining like the labor theory of value. I mean, it was weird. And after I was done with that, Isaac like took to Twitter and was like, this guy fucking crushed Destiny, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay.
Why did you not include the part where you just like didn't address any of his arguments and played piano over him? Why did you not include that part of the story?
I can include it. If people want to go watch the debate, they can. Like,
yeah, I was like, so I think you just didn't want to talk to Avi afterwards because you said he was like part of the Ask Yourself universe.
No, hold on. Can I just finish? Hold on. What I was saying was that like
finish the whole story.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that like after that happened, regardless of how bizarre the conversation was, Isaac like did his standard like posturing, like oh this is like epic, like Destiny got fucking on. People can find these tweets if they want. Maybe they saw it. I don't know. And then after that, I was like okay. I just like, I'm not interested in like that type of community, that like ultra debate lord stuff. So I just don't want to have like those types of conversations. Then sometime in the future, when I was having debates with not vegans, with anti or pro-abortion people, I think it was pro-life people on TikTok. I was starting to have some debates. Avi messaged me and he was like, hey, can I like argue like the Steelman version of pro-choice or pro-life or something? And when he said that, I was like, no, I don't think so. Like, I'm not interested. I might not even respond because I didn't want to. And then he kept messaging me over. He sent me multiple emails. Then he started sending me multiple tweets. And then Isaac started sending me messages on, I think, Discord and Twitter. And they started commenting on my YouTube videos. Like, I just don't want to be a part of this stuff. And now everybody's saying that, like,
you said this before any of that shit, right? You said this when like it was like right after the Jack Angstrom debate. You said that you didn't want to be part of like you didn't want to talk to Avi about it because he was part of the Ask Yourself universe. That's when you like.
I don't think that's when. I don't know if Avi ever wanted to talk to me about that. I think it was about the abortion stuff. Is when he started messaging me a lot to like talk again.
Well, you said you avoid all people who are on that whole part of the internet, like the Ask Yourself
I do.
universe,
I tend to avoid
right after the Angstrom debate.
Yeah,
specifically in regards to Avi, right?
No, it wasn't specifically in regards to Avi. It was more into Isaac, and then
yes, it was. It was specifically in regards to Avi.
Hold on.
Like you mentioned it by name, didn't you?
I might have mentioned as being part of it, but I think the reason why I said it was because
then it was in regards to Avi, right?
Can I finish a sentence, bro? What do you want to do? Do you want to just like own me, or do you want me to explain anything that's happened? Because you don't even have the full story. I can tell, like in terms of what's happened, right? My understanding.
You don't even remember the full story. Like
I'm telling you right now what my recollection is. Okay, so if I'm wrong, you can go to one of them and prove me wrong. Okay, I'm friends with Avi on Discord. Like we're cool. I just don't like to debate these people. Right? But the issue is that after the Jack Angstrom thing, I'm pretty sure Isaac came to me with another person that he wanted me to debate. It wasn't Avi, it was somebody different. And at that point, I was like, no, like I don't want to do any of this anymore. And then I think that's when I might have made the statements publicly. It wasn't about Avi. I think it was somebody else that Isaac was bringing for me to debate after the Angstrom
was it or was it not about Avi? You kind of flipped back and forth a couple times there.
I haven't flipped back and forth. That's when after the Angstrom thing.
You said I'm trying to dunk on you or own you or something?
Okay, chill. Wait,
I think anybody listening to this can tell I'm pretty calm right now. You seem a lot more like, I don't know, like flustered than I do? You seem upset.
Well, I'm frustrated because you're acting like a retard. That's
Okay, then don't say like chill if you're frustrated.
Well, I'm trying to
chill.
tell you to chill because I'm trying to finish my answer, but you're like so keen on like getting in the that you're not.
I guess you can do the tone policing thing if you want. I don't think it's really relevant here.
Well, you just said I was the one with the bad tone. So if anybody's tone policing here, it's you by saying
you just
I
told me to chill. Yeah, I said that in response. You told me.
No, I said you sounded like a retard. I'm not policing your tone. I'm policing your content.
Told me to chill. You just told me to chill.
Yeah, but I'm not telling you to chill in your tone. I'm telling you to stop interrupting me so I can finish a story. Okay.
Okay, you did tell me to chill though.
I did indeed tell you to chill.
Okay,
your recollection is correct. Okay, so I think that when I started saying I didn't want to do the AY universe anymore was when Askso was trying to bring another debater to me after Angstrom. I don't think it was Avi. I'm almost positive. I think it was another like weird Marxist dude. And then after that whole ordeal, I started doing debates on TikTok about pro-life stuff. Then Avi messaged me, and I might have reiterated like I don't have any interest in like doing that debates with those types of people because I didn't want like the whole Isaac, that server and all of that shit, like which I associate Avi heavily with because my understanding is he's still like actively participating in that community of everything, and I just don't want anything to do with that community of people.
Okay, you don't want anything to do with that community which he's associated with.
Yes.
Okay, so his associations with people are why you don't want to be associated with him.
If he was
That's guilt by association, isn't it?
No. I don't know how to explain.
Can you just give me your idea of like what guilt by association is?
Guilt by association doesn't mean...
Just clarify for me.
Yeah. If he was just friends with Isaac, then that would be guilt by association. He is part of the association, though. It's not guilt by association. It's the guiltiness of his he is literally part of that community. What? If he was just friends with Ask Yourself, then that would be different.
It's the guilt of his association. Did I hear that correctly, or am I going insane?
Of the association that he's in, yes.
It's the guilt of his associations.
It's the actual participating in that community, yes.
I understand. So it was super... Well, I got it wrong. So instead of saying guilt by association, I should just have guilt of association. And that would have been like, that would have made it not like a what, lol, in all caps with 4 question marks moment.
It would have been a participation in the association. Do you understand what I was saying? Hold on. Do you understand the difference between being...
He participates with associating with certain people. That clarifies everything.
No.
Very, very different than guilt by association.
It's that he's in the group. Do you really not understand this?
Yeah, that's an association. Are you insane?
Hold on. Like, there are people that I will talk to that are... My understanding is Avi is friends with a ton of people, I'm pretty sure. Like, I think he's friends with, like, Rose Wrist and a lot of the small... I talk to all those guys. I don't, like, ask them by guilt of association. But if those guys were part of...
It's not, like, double layer guilt by association. So you only do, like, 1 layer deep of guilt by association.
It's people that are in the group. Are you trolling me right now?
That's an association. Are you insane? Sorry.
Wait. Hold on.
I asked you a question earlier. You didn't answer. You just dodged it entirely. What's guilt by association, dude?
Guilt by association is if I don't want to talk to somebody simply because they're friends with somebody else. Or I'm accusing them of being the same as another person just because they're friends with that person. That's guilt by association.
So not wanting to talk to somebody because they're friends with other people. But if they have enough friends, then it's not guilt by association.
No, it's not about having enough friends. It's about if they're participating in the group.
So that's an association, isn't it?
No, that's an action. He is an active member of the AY Discord. I don't want to associate with people that are in the AY Discord.
Action is associating with people. Like, this is just silly. Like, you can't possibly think that this isn't just obviously wrong, right? Like, I don't know if you're like just sitting there not saying anything. Okay,
No. Wait, right. Hold on. Let's
So you go ahead.
Let's just hold on. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, we can hold on and have some more dead air.
Wait.
Well, you calm down.
Okay, yes. Let me calm down, okay?
Let's be zen.
I can reach you, okay? I can reach you. I'm coming for your mind, okay? I'm coming into it right now, okay? I can see you. I'm closing you. Okay, let's both be present. Okay. Let's ignore everything we've talked about so far, all right?
All right.
Okay. Let's say somebody comes up to me and they're like, hey, Steven, what's up? And I'm like, what's up, Ron? And Ron says, hey, how's it going? Can we be friends or can we chill and chat or whatever? And I'm like, sure. And Ron's like, I'm friends with John. Is that okay? And John is an active Ku Klux Klansman, okay? Ron is friends with John, who's an active KKK member. And I say to Ron, a little weird that you're friends with him, but like, yeah, that's fine, okay? We can chat and chill. That's okay, right? Okay. You follow me so far?
I'm following along, yeah.
Okay. Now let's say Jeremy comes up and Jeremy's like, oh, cool. You're friends with Ron. I'm friends with Ron and John too. Me and John are both in the Ku Klux Klan. Both of us are like active members. And now I'm looking at Jeremy and I'm like, I don't think I want to talk to you, Jeremy. And Jeremy's like, wait, what do you mean? Why not? Are you like guilt by associating me? And I'm like, well, no, it's not that I'm guilt by associating you. It's that you're literally in the Ku Klux Klan with John. Like Ron is just friends with John, but you're actually in the KKK. Like I don't really want to talk with people that are in the KKK. That's just my personal. I don't like talking to people in the KKK. If you were just friends with John, that'd be one thing. But Jeremy, you're actually in the Ku Klux Klan. Ron isn't. He's just friends with him, right? I'm not gonna do like the guilt by association where Ron is friends with a guy that I don't like. Therefore, I'm not gonna talk to him. But you're actually in the Ku Klux Klan. Do you understand the difference there between Jeremy and Ron?
Do you understand the difference between being in the Ku Klux Klan, where like part of that is like part of that membership is based on your beliefs and your ideas, right? Like being racist, for example, and just like knowing people who are in the Ku Klux Klan or associating with them.
Yeah,
like,
of course. That's the difference
yeah.
between Ron and Jeremy. Yeah, that's the difference between the three. Yeah.
The story about that fucking, what's his name? The black guy or whatever, right? Who goes to the Ku Klux Klan meeting.
Daryl,
right?
whatever,
He's like a
yeah.
Klansman, but he goes there and he goes he associates with these people, right?
Yeah.
It would be like what you're doing is a lot less like somebody has like a formal membership in like an organization which is founded on the ideas of racism, and a lot more like saying like, okay, you're that black guy who goes to all the Ku Klux Klan meetings. I can't talk to you anymore.
Okay, so again, I'm not accusing you of anything. I swear to God, I'm not trying to say that, okay? But I don't know if you're aware of the extent of how Avi participates in this community. And I'm going to admit right now, maybe it's changed over the... Maybe it's changed over the past couple of years. But when I was part of those communities, Avi and Isaac were like the two main debater members of that server. Like people would go to those servers to have like philosophical debates or vegan debates with Avi or myself. Avi wasn't just a guy that happened to be the server watching. He was like one. Now somebody in chat can tell me if I'm wrong or if it's changed or if it's different. But in the Ask Yourself Vegan Discord server, Avi and Isaac were like the two huge debaters there. Like that's what they are. Now I'm not saying that that's even necessarily bad.
I just problem you have with him though, right? It's just it's not that he's a debater. Like you talk to plenty of debaters.
But no, I don't usually do like the ultimate like debate stuff, especially not like in like communities. Like there are certain groups of people that like big presuppositionalist communities for this. Like I usually don't like, I just won't do it, and just because I don't want to. But like that's my understanding of like, now maybe that's different, maybe it's not there, but
so I just don't see why this is like. So you're saying he's a big debater, and I agree. He's like a debater, right? He's like a debate guy.
No, not just a debater. He's part of
the community he's a part of is what you're saying is really guilty of.
Yeah,
right?
I don't like that. I don't like those actions. So like here's so somebody just pulled this up from that server. Apparently like even like a week ago. I'd love to see Francione versus Avi on abortion. If only he defended his view on antidepressants versus Avi. I just lost interest once he fled Avi and I. I think that's probably good given Avi's assessment. If you think me, Venus, Avi, Troy are all the same here, I am Avi, but he ran away from me and Avi. When Avi and I pushed him to defend his views, he ran from voice chat. This is my understanding. He's like part of this like ultimate debate.
All
like,
of these are Ask Yourself quotes, right?
Yes, and Ask Yourself is the owner of the server. It's his server. That's what I'm saying. It's not just like
Wait, what has Avi done wrong here?
He hasn't done anything wrong. None of these guys are wrong. I just don't want to...
Wait, hold on. Yeah, so then like saying like, I'm not going to engage with you about like you steelmaning this philosophical topic that I want to talk about on the stream, like you being able to steelman it and being able to give good arguments in favor of one side of it. Like you can't like say like, here are a bunch of screenshots of Ask Yourself being weird. Like, yeah, Ask Yourself's weird as fuck.
No. Here, hold on.
But Avi's a great guy. I don't see the issue with like...
I think Avi is a great guy. I'm literally friends with him on Discord.
I don't see why you don't just... Yeah, but the issue is like, if he's a great guy on Discord, but you won't bring him on stream to talk about issues, and there's a big issue. There's a big problem with that.
Because I don't... No, hold on.
You're not really... Hold on, just a second. You're not really like... If you're not really able to hear out like the best possible arguments in favor of that position, you want to go ahead? That's what you sort of muted yourself. I don't know what was up there.
No, it's fine. I just sometimes
I gotta be worried about the piano, right?
No, you're good. You're totally fine. Listen, there is. Let me say this, okay? Unequivocally, there is nothing wrong with Avi. Let me say this. There's not even anything wrong with Ask Yourself, okay? I think Isaac is a smart dude, okay? There's nothing wrong with their whole server or anything they do. There's nothing wrong with all of that, okay? You do not have the right. You can't dictate to me that I must entertain conversations.
You don't have to.
But you're telling me I do.
Oh, hold on.
My personal preference is that...
Can I clarify my position?
Okay, sure.
What I'm saying is like, so your original tweet was that I was like, you kind of like made it out like I was being crazy by saying you have this like guilt by association.
Yeah, because I don't do guilt by association. I don't want to participate.
You're just defending. No. You're just saying it's justified, right?
I'm showing you that.
If you want to talk about that, I think there are other examples where like it's still guilt by association, but there it's just like, regardless of who, like what your personal feelings are on the matter, it's just you're clearly.
I just don't want to have like. I don't want to have these conversations like these ultimate debater communities. That's it. It's not that Avi is associated with it. It's that he's part of them. He's a really big member in one of these communities. I just don't want to have those conversations.
So it's that he's part of the community, you just said.
He's a part of he's a lead participant. He's like one of the leaders of the community.
How do you be a part of a community other than being like associated with them?
What do you think guilt by association means?
When you say somebody's culpable by their connections to somebody else?
Correct. Avi is not culpable by his connections. He's culpable by his participation. Do you understand the difference between that?
Connection. I feel like I'm.
No,
so
he participates. He is a leader in this community. He's a leader.
Participation is him associating with the community. This is just like you moving the words around and saying it, pretending it means something different.
I don't know. Wait. Do you think there's a difference between participating in a community and being associated with a person in the community? If you don't understand the difference, I can give you an example.
Associated with the community.
Yes.
Associated with the community as a whole, right?
No. If you say you're associated with the community as a whole, that sounds like you're a participant.
What does it mean to participate in a community?
Okay. Participating in a community is when you are a part of the community and you actively contribute to that community. That's what participating in the community means.
Okay. Is there anything he's done in terms of his participation with that community that you think is morally wrong or an issue?
No, bro. I'm not saying
okay,
they're
perfect. Hold on.
Wrong.
And there's no. Yeah, hold it. Yeah, don't do the. You don't have to do like the weird high pitch thing. In the case of like what Avi's done, there's no reason why any of the things that he's done in that community. I mean, like you can't hear out his arguments on something.
There is though, bro. I told you, I just don't want to associate with people. I don't want to interact with people. I don't want to interact with people that are part of like the ultimate debater squads on these discords. That's just not what I want to do. I'm not interested in it.
Okay. So if your argument is not that like he's in any way like I guess just it seems weird to say like that it's kind of crazy to accuse you of like doing a guilt by association thing when you're like saying he's like it's not just guilt, it's more like I wouldn't want to talk to these people if they're connected to these communities. And earlier you were saying like that would qualify as guilt by association, but now it doesn't. And I just don't understand that like it's kind of all over the place.
Do you understand the difference between driving by a corner that might sell like human trafficking victims versus buying a human trafficking victim?
My position is not. Wait, do you understand the difference between like being in a fucking Discord community and buying a human trafficking victim? This is like
Wait, that's not what I'm. Bro, hold on. What is? Are you like 75 IQ? I don't know why you keep doing this with my analogies.
You're not in a position to call anyone stupid so far. Like you're being a fucking idiot. Like this is you've jumped all over the place in terms of your position here. Like you just insulted me a couple times, and like this is the best counter argument you've got here. All right, is there? Like, I don't know, we can go somewhere else with the conversation if that's just a dead end, right? Like in your Xander Hall debate, it's all about guilt by association, right?
I can't believe, okay. You talk pretty quick.
Believe what?
You have a decent, don't believe you're this stupid. So I'm trying to figure out like, what are we not connecting on? Either you're like super predisposed towards hating me or I'm doing a really poor job of explaining myself.
Why do you think I hate you?
Because you're fundamentally lost. You're like you're lost at sea in this conversation. And I don't understand how you're so lost.
So why do you think so? Okay, I just don't understand.
Hold on, here's a question.
I hate you. It's a weird victim complex with you. I don't hate you at all. I feel like
okay.
You seem like. Wait, go ahead.
Okay, if I know a guy, and he's friends with somebody that's in ISIS, do you think that's different than a guy that's in ISIS?
A guy who is in ISIS?
So let's say there's one guy and I'm like, I guess I can talk to you.
I've told you several times I understand the difference between these two things. You just keep bringing up like different versions of the same example.
Okay.
I've already addressed it.
Okay, that's good. Hold on. So there's a difference between a guy that's in ISIS and a guy that's friends with the guy. So is there a difference between a guy that's just in like the Ask Yourself Discord versus a guy that's like a huge participant in that server? Like, is there a difference between a guy that's like friends with somebody in the server versus a guy that's like a lead participant in that server?
I agree there's a difference between a very weak association and a very strong association, but they're both associations.
Okay, so is every
I feel like
time
you're lost in this conversation. You projected that onto me. Like you've asked this 8 times now. Are you gonna give me another example?
Okay, what is
I know the difference.
What is I'm sorry, maybe I need to find this again. What does association mean with you again?
Connection to somebody on like a social level?
Okay, do you agree that there's a difference between an association with somebody and a participation in a community?
A difference between like an association, it depends on the community, but in some communities no and in some yes. In some communities the only way you participate is via association.
My issue is not
you participate by like having shared ideology, right? In the case of like the Ku Klux Klan or ISIS.
Okay, so my issue is not that Avi is just associated with the Discord. It's his participation in the Discord.
What participation in the Discord does he do that you think is like?
I've literally shown you that the lead character in this Discord references him multiple times this month.
Yeah, what's the thing he's doing in the Discord that you have an issue with?
Doing the debate lording.
What debate lording do you think he's doing that's like issuesome?
When they literally are like, the way that these guys do debates is that like they'll get like these newbies like in the channel and they're like, okay, we're gonna do the debate now. Why do you think it's the consequential difference between animals and human life? Oh, okay, well I want you to name the trait. That's a non sequitur fallacy. You just like, this is the type of stuff, or like the calling into shows.
Wait, hold on. When has Avi ever done that?
That's what they used to always do. Maybe they haven't in the past year or two.
No, not even the last year or two. Like one of my first debates ever was like with Avi, and like he didn't do that to me, and I was like brand fucking new to that.
That's great if he didn't do it to you, and I'm sure there are some debates where Isaac hasn't done it
I've
either.
never seen him do that to anyone.
Okay,
He's like
but
always,
no
Isaac,
offense, but you didn't. It
Ask
sounds
yourself,
like you
does
didn't
that
even
agree?
know that
Avi
much.
doesn't.
Okay, it sounds like you didn't even know that much about the server. So I don't know why you're in a position. I was a very active member in the server for quite a while. Okay,
You were participating in that community.
yes.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Did you miss the part of the?
It's just insane.
Did you wait? Did you miss the part of the conversation where I said I used to be like really big into debate lording, and I gave you the story of the girl in bed with me, and I still and then I said like I don't do that anymore.
Okay. So with Avi, what do you have like? Can you show like a video or something of him like doing something that you think was like too debate lordy, like going too far?
I don't have stuff saved of these guys. I don't know.
I've got saved. It's just like when you remember, like maybe the name of it. I'll look it up afterwards and check.
No, I wasn't on stuff on YouTube. I told you I was part of these Discord communities. Like I sat in these servers and listened.
It's on the like it's only the debates Avi's done where there's no proof of it. What about like the ones where other people record it and like put it to like do you like remember a person he debated or something that he did that to?
There's a whole channel on YouTube, but bro, I don't have this saved right now. No,
I know. There's the fucking AY server archives or whatever.
Wait, hold on.
I know. Are you linked it to me? Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay, wait. Are you like trying to say that like I'm not allowed to have an opinion because I don't have a specific YouTube video saved of every single person that I have an impression of?
You have an opinion, but just like you don't even have like a name in mind. Like
no, I don't because I don't know the names of the dude. I was in the server like people can look. Wait, hold on. Can you guys look up logs of me?
I literally cannot engage with this.
Can you guys look up?
There's no way to engage with you like not remembering any kind of like name or point like thing you can point out. I guess.
Hold on, sorry, I have to get you. Okay, if anybody can look up logs of me in the Ask Yourself Discord and find out how long ago did I post there? It felt like it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, sorry, what do you want?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really engage with you like saying there's some evidence out there that exists that you just can't remember, I guess. But I don't know. Do you want to like I could throw a different example at you. Maybe you have like more memory of it, like the Xander Hall debate, right? Like it was kind of all about guilt by association, I thought.
Fuck me. Wait, is this a troll?
There's no reason why you could possibly believe I'm trolling here. You can do a fake laughing thing or whatever, but like you just haven't addressed any of my points so far.
Come on.
You quote tweeted me acting like I was crazy.
I'm on drugs right now, guys. This is what happens when you do too much. I don't even know when I'm sober anymore. My mind is fucked.
You all right?
I don't think I am, dude.
Okay. Just like implying it's like insane that I'm bringing this up is not like the same as a counter argument, I guess.
It's not. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. You said that you are.
Wait, hold on. Wait, real quick. Hold on. If I'm telling you that I had a personal experience in a Discord server over a few years, like 4 or 5 years ago, with this server like debating, like people come in, do you really think it's reasonable that I would remember names of people being debated?
Are we controlling back to the thing that you like you finally thought of like a response for?
I'm not. Wait, no. It's not that I thought of a response. It's that you started pushing me. Like, do you have like a specific? I don't know. I know that. Here's another thing. Here's another thing. Hold on. Here's another thing.
I'll look it up.
Here's another thing. My own server has a lot of like debate lording that goes on in it, but I couldn't tell you a single name of anybody that's debated in my Discord server. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't look at the names. It's been a long time since I've like.
I just like the issue is like. Never anywhere on like Avi's YouTube channel can you point it out. You're saying it's only the ones that aren't uploaded. I can't. No. Are uploaded to the AY Discord archive, which I can search through and maybe find Avi like being bad faith in there or something, or like being like too harsh with newbies.
I need a moderator. I can't do it. Can I bring on a third party?
Who is your third party?
A guy named Pisco. He's a lawyer, so he's a good moderator.
I don't know if you need like another like friend of you can.
His name's not a friend. I hate him. We disagree on terrorism and Roe v. Wade. I think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean if all you can do is like smugly laugh every time
I'm
I bring
not
up a
being
point,
smug.
just
I'm actually confused. I'm lost.
Dude, you can't say I'm not being smug and that like the most obviously smug.
I'm not being smug. I'm not being smug.
I'm genuinely confused. I'm lost. Can I please just can
I give you an example and you just tell me if this sounds like guilt by association? If I said you are who you hang around, would that be guilt by association?
I mean, it could be. It depends on like what you are, who you hang around. Like, it depends on what you mean by that. Like, if you tell me that you have like one friend that's a Nazi, like, I don't know if I'm gonna think you're a Nazi. But if you tell me all your friends are Nazis, I might think you're a Nazi. It super depends. I'm gonna need more context for that.
What if I'm saying like you are who you hang around in regards to like I'm saying like Lauren Southern's audience members say things that I think are bad and therefore Lauren Southern's bad. Would that be guilt by association?
It wouldn't be guilt by association, but there are legitimate criticisms you could make there. If like or a lot of members of a person's audience say certain things, then I think you should be aware of that. Yeah. Like my audience, for instance, because we've been doing so much fucking incel content, I think my audience is legitimately like took a pretty heavy incel bend that I have to like hard correct over the next 2 months. So like that's like
if somebody condemned you, said you were culpable because of what your audience was doing there, would you say that is like, it would be at least not insane, right? At least not insane to say like somebody doing that, somebody implying you're culpable for your audience's actions there.
I mean, I don't think that you're like one-to-one culpable, but I think you have some level of responsibility over your audience's behavior, but it's going to depend on what we're talking about. Like, for instance, like if I interact with somebody, or if I interact with any large content creator, like 2 of their like viewers send me a death threat, like it's 2 people, like what can I do? But if they're like sicking their fan base on me, like Keffels does, then I'm like, okay, holy shit, like you're actually brigading. Like there's going to be a difference. It depends on like the level of culpability is going to depend on the level of engagement and how they direct their community, right?
So what if I was like, so imagine that you're doing a bunch of outreach to right-wingers, right? You get a bunch of right-wingers in your community and you convince them all to like vote Democrat or something, right? And then I tell you something like, no, those people are conservatives. You can't convince them to change their minds. You need to distance yourself from them. You need to push them out of your community and not change them to voting for Democrat. Do you think this would be something that's like morally an issue? Like that I shouldn't tell you to do this?
That's like, so it depends on what you do. Like my goal is like arguing and like conversing with people and like bringing people together from different points of view. So I would want like a divergent set of views in my audience. That would be something I would go for. But if you're somebody that like, let's say that you have a channel that's like a safe space for LGBT issue discussion, you probably don't want a lot of those people in your community. It's going to depend on like the goal of your channel or what kind of advocacy you do.
Okay. If your advocacy is like, if maybe like the best aspect of your advocacy, for example, right, is like you're telling a bunch of people who would have otherwise not voted for a Democrat to go vote for a Democrat, that convinces them to change their mind and maybe like vote for Biden or something, right? 2020, 2016.
Okay.
Do you think it would be like good to push these people out of your community, or should you keep them in where you can continue to change their minds and like move them over to voting for Democrats?
I mean, for my community, I think my goal would be to keep them in to change their minds. Those would be the goal, right?
For your community, and that's a pretty reasonable goal. And like even if those people were like maybe like really anti a friend of yours or something, it would be kind of silly to push them out of your community for that, right? It would be better to like have the more significant impact on politics than it would be to just push these people out entirely, right?
That's what I would say, sure. But that's not going to be the same goal for every community, but yeah.
I agree. It's not the same for every community, but you would say it's your goal, but you wouldn't say it should be Vosh's.
I mean, Vosh marketed himself as someone similar to me, so I would imagine it would be Vosh's goal too, but maybe he has different goals in his community now.
So if it should be Vosh's, then like it's probably not a good reason to like stop associating with somebody like Vosh, or even to like tell him he shouldn't be hanging around people who don't like you personally, when he could be moving those like woke lefties over to voting for a Democrat who would have otherwise just not voted at all, right?
If somebody said that, yeah, but I don't know if Vosh is moving any of those people. But
you don't think Vosh is convincing any woke lefties to, instead of being Bernie or Busters, to vote for a Democrat, to vote for Joe Biden? You don't think he's moved any of them?
He might be a little bit, but he also like plays games where he tries to appeal to the woke squad as well. So it's hard to figure out like where his positions are on that. I think he's really inconsistent. I don't think he. I think 2 years ago I would have agreed 100%. Yeah, he does. And maybe 1 year ago, maybe. But as of recently, I think he toes a lot of the woke lines pretty hardcore, and then some of the woke lines he pushes against. But
I think it's very clear to anybody who's like, I'm not like a hardcore Vosh fan or whatever. I wouldn't even be like a normal Vosh fan, right? I don't think it's unreasonable to say like Vosh is clearly pulling woke people over and then telling them to vote blue. I don't think I've ever heard him say not.
But my issue isn't that. My issue is that he is corrupting people epistemically. He's giving people like really bad ways to analyze the world, and he's also pushing,
I would agree.
Okay, and he's also pushing like bad or fundamentally untrue ways of viewing the world, and then he's pushing misinformation. And I don't know if I can justify any like end result. Like even if he does get more people to vote blue, I don't know if that's good. Like I think that's why it's bad. It has nothing to do with like where he's pulling people.
Clearly, I think it's a lot better. So whatever impact you think he's going to have in terms of giving people like bad ways of viewing the world, I'd agree with, right? I don't think he's like philosophically very good. I think his like real utilitarianism stuff is kind of dumb or whatever. But I just think like the impact he has on like actual real politics is relatively limited to how he can change people's voting patterns.
No, I disagree. I think that people like him cause people like Rittenhouse, and people like him cause like violent riots, or people like him cause cops to get killed. I totally disagree with you there.
So I was watching earlier on your stream, like right before like popping on here, you said that like if you can say that Lauren Southern caused Christchurch, you can say that people like Vosh and Hassan, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Vosh and Hassan caused like the BLM riots, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Does the inverse also work, where if you can say Vosh and Hassan caused the BLM riots, you can say that Lauren Southern caused Christchurch?
Contributed to it, for sure, yeah.
Okay, so then you just said that Vosh, I guess, caused like people like Rittenhouse, right?
Yeah, hold on. Let me explain. Let me expand.
I'm guessing you're not saying Rittenhouse has done something wrong. You're saying he's causing the BLM riots, so you can do this with Lauren Southern as well, right? Can you really?
Can I expand this a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you're really desperate. Vosh.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What did you say?
Vosh on his own did not cause it. That type of ideology and thinking collectively caused it, which Vosh pushes. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay. So when you phrase it initially, right, you kind of phrase it in a different way.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna ask you so hard to be honest. Do you think that I believe that Vosh and Hassan on their own caused all of the BLM riots?
No, and do you think the people who are saying that Lauren Southern contributed to the Christchurch shooting are saying that she did all of it? Like it's all just her? There was nothing else that happened there?
That she was the most influential player, yes.
You think they genuinely think she's like the number one influential player in the Christchurch shooting?
Yes. In my community, yes, I think so. Or on my subreddit, yes.
Okay, well, I'm not on your subreddit, but I can tell you, like, I think she was like part of the. She was a contributing factor in the same way Vosh is a contributing factor to the BLM riots, and I don't think that's like I don't think that's anywhere close to true, right? So I don't think that's my position at all.
Okay, I don't know what your position is. Why do we what?
Yeah, I think that if you can say something like Vosh and Hassan caused the BLM riots, then you can say something like Lauren Southern caused Christchurch. If you can say one, you can say the other. So I think that like
wait. Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait. Do you think I would disagree with that?
Of course not. Like that's the whole point.
Wait, what is the point?
Dragging you along to
You're
this
not
point.
dragging me along to any of that. You're restating like
I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to get you to understand, right? If you're saying that people in your community, right, are saying like this, what like people in your subreddit or whatever, are like lashing out at Lauren Southern because of the fact that she, I don't know, saying that she's like partly responsible for Christchurch or partly responsible for like the.
Wait, no. It's not about Christchurch. It's about.
I don't think they.
It's about like the shooting now in Buffalo. I thought that was weird.
That's what I just said. The shooting in Christchurch or the shooting in Buffalo, New York.
Well, but those are different things, right?
You're right. I had no. Wait, I need you to be honest with me. Do you actually think my position is the Buffalo, New York shooting and the Christchurch shootings were the same thing?
Well, there's a huge like temporal difference here. I think that they're different, but like she can have a greater influence over one and a far lesser influence over the other. That's my point.
Sure, and she probably had like some degree of influence over either of them, right?
I think that she almost certainly had a decent amount of influence on the Christchurch one over the Buffalo one. It's possible that shooter had never even heard of Lauren Southern in a positive light. That's possible. I think for the Christchurch guy, he probably almost high likelihood he knows who Lauren Southern is.
So even if it's the case that he had never heard of Lauren Southern before, ever in a positive light, she could still be partly a contributing factor because of the kind of culture that she created beforehand, right? If you create like
partially. I could be contributing to that maybe.
If she was in a massive way, like as you're saying here, the part of the contributing factor of the Christchurch shooting, even if it's not a majority of it, right? Just a large scale portion of that. That Christchurch shooter inspired this one, right? He like wrote the same kind of scribbles on his guns in the white paint. He drew the same symbols on there.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it probably just is the case, right? That Lauren is at least to some degree responsible.
Yeah, sure. Every single player is along the way that's ever had a YouTube video or ever done anything related is probably to some extent responsible. And like in terms of like the immigration, great replacement stuff.
What?
Sure.
Every person who's ever had a YouTube, you mean like just because they've contributed to the existence of YouTube as a platform?
No. Every person that's made YouTube videos or done discussions like Stefan Molyneux, JF Gary Epi, all these other guys that have talked about like great replacement type stuff or whatever are probably like contributing to the responsibility. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. So I just don't see why it's that crazy to say you do a guilt by association thing. You clearly do sometimes.
Wait. No, hold on, wait. I'm not guilt by associating anybody here. I'm looking at their actions. An action is not an association.
Sorry, so the act of associating would be, right? So if that's the action you're talking about.
When you talk about the act of associating, you're not talking about associating. You're talking about the act of participating.
So the act of participating via association. Right, that's the participation you're talking about.
No,
right?
Hold on. Lauren Southern's problem was not that she participated in a community. So she made a fucking video called The Great Replacement while showing videos of immigrants riding in the background who were all black and brown. It wasn't her association. It was the fucking video. Like, it was the actual participation.
Relax. Chill out.
I'm super relaxed, but I'm just saying it's not like... It's not
relaxed right now, yeah.
Okay. All right, hold on. I'm sorry. I have to do you're actually... I give you props to this. You must be part of the AY Discord. The strategy is that, like... As long as you can have this type of canvas the entire time and you're never mad, you have the objective victory over the opponent.
You're right. You're right.
Please, go ahead and continue.
You caught me on part of the AY Discord.
It's all good. Okay, give me the next line of your argumentation, sir. Go ahead.
Bro, I'm gonna cite prop logic at you or something. I'm
It's
gonna
okay.
formalize my argument. I'm ready
That's
to go.
great.
I'm ready
ahead.
to AY.
I see that you're acting a bit ironic now because you seem to be a bit flustered.
Yes.
That's why you repeated yourself twice.
I'm
but
super flustered. I'm actually super not calm right now. I'm
ahead.
super mad.
Nice. I like the growl in your voice at the end as you try to drop it to show how not mad you are. But continue with your argument.
Just to be super fair, the growl in my voice is from the spicy.
It's all good. Don't worry. Continue with your argument.
All right. So if we say there's like a guilt by association thing going on, I don't think it's like super crazy to say something like that. It's not like an all caps what lol with 8 question marks kind of moment, right? I think if you're saying things like I'm not going to talk to Avi because of his association with Ask Yourself's community, right? That's an association still. The Ask Yourself universe, that's what you mean or whatever. If you can't point to anything that really like Avi's doing wrong, it's just like the only way he's guilty is because of his association with this community. I think if you take like the ISIS member example or like the Ku Klux Klan or whatever, right? All of these people are going to be people who are like, you can point to things other than just their association in a community that's wrong about them. Like, for example, like an ISIS member or like a racist ideology, right? Like, I think these are both
You see, the
issues
problem,
in and
sir,
of
is you
themselves.
fundamentally misunderstood the difference between associating in the community and participate. Oh, please stop cutting me off. I can tell that when you do that, you're getting increasingly upset. I allowed you to speak. You cut me off twice now, even more upset. So anyway, as I continue my statement, a third time I see. So also, I don't need your fake condescending laughs to hide your anger. So the problem, a fifth cut me off. Nice. Are you going to continue to do it? Or are you going to let me finish my point?
That's so true.
Another fake laugh. He continues to laugh as he gets more and more awkward, knowing that my rebuttal here is about to crush everything
I
you
have
just
lost
said.
this debate. I concede.
Absolutely. Am I going to be able to finish my sentence, sir? Or are you going to continue to cut me off with your snarky remarks?
I'm sorry. It's kind of funny.
Oh, and now the fake laugh
Come on,
comes
it's
out.
not my fault.
Listen to the anger rising in his voice as he sees
That's so true.
earlier saying he had the growl in his voice.
I'm pounding my table.
Oh, and now you think the fake anger is going to mask your real anger, sir?
You're right. You've uncovered me.
I have. So the problem is
I am defeated.
And he cuts me off once more. He's scared to let me finish his sentence.
Sorry, go ahead.
More fake laughter. So, as I was saying, the problem with Avi is not his association with people in these servers, it's his participation in these servers. The reason why I responded to your tweet or quote tweeted it with 4 or 8 exclamation marks is because I don't do guilt by association. If somebody was friends with Isaac, that would not be a sufficient reason for me to never debate that person. But if they participated in the Ask Yourself Discord server, that probably would be sufficient for me to not debate that person. This is why I laughed at you, rightfully so, and I believe I have proven my case, that I do not ban people from conversations with me just because of their associations with other people, but rather their participation in certain communities will make it necessary for me to not associate with those people or talk to those people. That's the issue.
Okay, so you're the issue I guess you're pointing out, right, with with Avi, right, is not the fact that he's like associated just with a friend, but that he's associated with a community.
It's not the association with the community, good sir. You seem to be misunderstanding the difference between... And he cuts me off again with another fake laugh.
True.
Typical debate bro behavior, but that's okay. I'm unfazed.
True.
And he rises. Nice. Rise to the occasion. Raise your voice. Good job. So, as I was saying, the problem was not the association with the community. It was the participation in the community. Do you understand?
Okay, by participation, I'm going to ask you again, because I didn't really feel like I ever got clarity on this. What is the participation he's doing other than associating? What is the participation he's doing wrong?
Participating means being one of the lead debaters in the server and participating in debate bro debates in the server. That's the issue.
All right, participating in debate bro debates, right? Like the other one is just kind of a different type of associating, right? But the participating in debate bro debates, I understand this is like a real thing. I could imagine somebody pointing to and saying, this is the thing Avi's done wrong, right? I can understand that, right? I just want to know what kind of things is he doing in these debate bro debates that you take issue with?
So the issue that I have is when people wheel out a whole bunch of philosophy bro language, start breaking out all the prop logic and all the dictionaries and all the insane hypotheticals in order to prove to the other opponent that they have been destroyed intellectually, and to do it in the most haughty, smug fashion imaginable while uploading every single debate to YouTube servers or circle jerking with all of their friends on the server about how much they've intellectually sparred with and crushed opponents that wandered into their corner of the debatosphere.
Okay. What kind of philosophy language do you think that people in that sphere, and I guess Avi in particular, do you think they should be changing their rhetoric around? Like what kind of
I don't think they should change their rhetoric at all. I think that if they want to do debatosphere stuff, it's totally fine. I think that's okay. He says okay to dismiss me sarcastically because he's unable to intellectually grapple with the point that I'm bringing up, as he cuts me off again with more monosyllabic words, showing that his head is empty right now, lacking retort to anything I'm saying intellectually.
So true.
How many more times are you going to sarcastically respond to my intellectual arguments without anything of content?
I don't know. I've got nothing there. I don't know. I think like the weird like performative thing you're doing now just kind of cringe. I guess
and you think that your performativity by saying that I'm being performative?
I have been cut off. It clearly is a sign that I've outpaced him intellectually.
Sir, your voice is raising. More decibels are coming from your Discord.
True.
Are you getting
more
upset?
decibels? I have moved my voice from over here to right here, and it's just too loud. I'm giving the DGG or sensory overload. It's my debate tactic, okay? All right.
You sound quite angry. Are you okay?
So true. I'm seething. I'm so mad.
Do you think that sarcastically saying it makes it less true?
You're right.
I know.
I'm super mad.
It's okay.
Another debate won for Destiny. Another dub on the board. Chalk that one up. Really though, in the case of like this not being guilt by association, I think it just kind of obviously is. The thing I was bringing up earlier was like, you are who you hang around, or whatever was the quote, I think. You were saying like, you believe this 100%. Can you tell me what does it mean to hang around somebody? Would you say that's like similar to association?
Okay, hold on. I have to, I get in big trouble when on the internet too late. I have to have somebody moderating my behavior, okay? Can I bring in my guy, please?
You can bring in Pisco.
Okay, have you ever talked to him before? Is this gonna be bad or?
I've never talked to Pisco.
Okay, that's good. He's a really friendly guy. And he hates like 90% of the things I say, so don't worry, he's not gonna be biased. 1 second.
Saying earlier you loved him, he's your best friend. Pisco, Destiny's bestie. What's up?
How you doing? How's everyone doing?
Pisco?
I'm doing okay. I just wanted to, I've been hearing this conversation for a little bit, and I wanted to intercede if that's all right.
Okay, you can become the third interlocutor in this heated debate.
I give you permission to intercede. Go ahead.
Can you guys not do that?
We don't need the performative laughs here, Pisco. We're all men of intellectual honor here.
Well, Destiny made an argument about why he felt this person, I don't know who this person is a principal, as opposed to merely associating with people who do activity. And I didn't really hear a response to that point.
You said Destiny
denying? So Destiny said that this person is a participant, that he's very active on the server, and thereby is not merely associated with the server, but is taking a critical role in the server. And I didn't really hear a response to that.
Yeah, the response was, what do you mean by participating? And the response
he
to
told
Destiny,
you, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. So there was a response there. You heard the response. The response
But
is, what do you mean by
what's your
participating?
response to that?
He says he's, yeah, I just gave it. He said that you're an active, he said Avi was an active participant in the server. He's one of the lead people who's doing the debate bro thing in the server, right? The example he gave was like, he's like doing too much philosophy language or whatever, right? And then I gave the response after that of like, okay, what kind of like, what's the too much like philosophy language he's doing? What's an example you can point to if there being an issue here, right? Where can you like point out something that Avi's done that's too philosophy bro-y, right? I don't see what Avi's done wrong.
Do you take issue with the general statement that Destiny made, disparaging or not liking the community for the way it interacts with people?
I don't like the community.
Why isn't it
I don't think Avi's done anything wrong, right?
If you don't have a problem with him criticizing the server generally, why is it not sufficient for him to just say that he is an active member and player in how that community operates? If you're not going to take issue with him, having a problem with the server as a whole, why would you want anything more specific with respect to one of the main principles?
Sure. So if you're saying you don't do guilt by association, and you're also saying his association is what he's guilty for, that would just be like, those two statements just can't exist in tandem, right?
I feel like we're repeating ourselves now. He's not taking the position that it's guilt by association, but by his principal acts, his participation in the debates and his leading of the debates.
Yeah, but you just
and
said
his leading of the tone in that debate.
Sorry, can I clarify for a second?
Yeah.
What you just said is that the way in which, like, you said it should be sufficient that he's just part of that community, right? And the issue is when you.
No, I didn't say that.
Didn't you just say that?
No. I said if you don't have a problem, if you're not asking for any more specific or particulars with respect to his problems with the server as a whole, why would you take issue with his critique of someone who leads and sets the tone for the server?
I don't think that Avi is the person setting the tone that you're complaining about here. I think the tone is mostly set by AY because it's kind of AY's server, right? I don't
so that's just the disagreement on the fact.
Anything, just a second. If anything, Avi's tone is far better than the average in that server, and if he's doing anything, he's pulling it towards a better norm. I don't think that Avi's done something wrong there.
That's a disagreement on the facts, and you guys can disagree on the facts, and I'm sure Destiny has had different interactions with this person than you've had. It seems like it was more in the past than you've had more recent interactions, but
no, mine was about 2 years ago.
Him, if you guys just have a disagreement on like what his role is in the server and how he's been acting in the server, you can't say that Destiny is doing guilt by association. You guys disagree on what his role is. You guys disagree on his principal act. but he's not making a guilt by association argument.
Yeah, no, Pisco, I didn't say that I've had some recent interaction with Avi. Like my first interaction with Avi that I pointed out was like 2 years ago or something. I think it was longer than 2 years ago. I think it was almost 3 years ago.
Let me repeat the argument. So if you guys disagree on who's setting the tone, on who's a main debater, on who's a principal in the server, you guys can disagree on the facts, but you cannot just accuse Destiny of taking a guilt by association argument if he can be wrong on his argument about whether he's an active participant or whether he's setting the tone. He can be wrong about that, but that is not equivalent to a guilt by association argument, is it?
The argument that he's giving when pressed is it's kind of the same thing that you did earlier, where you're pressed on okay, he's doing something wrong in terms of the actual actions he's taking in the server, and then when pressed on it, what you go to is he's the only thing that's needs to be or the only sufficient condition there is just the fact that there's a general badness to the server, a general badness in this kind of way, and Avi's part of that server.
Let's ground this out again. So
you asked me earlier, is that alone sufficient, right? Just the fact that there's a general bad trend in the server and Avi's part of it, right? And
he's leading it. Why do you keep ignoring that? He's leading it.
Are they making any progress at all, or what's going on?
He's one of the main.
He's an active member. He's just not the person causing the server to be that way. And I don't think Destiny would even. Destiny, you can unmute right now and clarify. Do you think that Avi is the reason the server is that way? If Avi was gone,
I think he's a pretty decent contributing factor. Yeah, like I said, he's they have debate tiers in the server, and he's literally the master debate tier. He's in the highest debate tier.
Do you think if Avi was not in that server, you think the server would get better?
I don't know. It's hard to say. It might be Isaac and him would agree on everything, but without him, maybe Isaac would still do the same thing.
He's a substantial
it might have it might have been that without Goebbels, Hitler would still be just as bad, but it doesn't make Goebbels any better.
Okay, I don't quite think that's an apt comparison. In the case
hold on, wait. Why do you get so mad when I make comparisons? You try to. I'm not calling them Nazis.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. Okay, I'm not mad at you. In the case of Avi, in the case of the Avi in particular,
is it Goebbels? Is it Gerbil?
I don't see a reason why it's the case.
Goebbels? I don't know.
If he's not a contributing factor making the server worse anyway, and in fact he's making it better, which is what I'd say here. If he's making the server a better place on average, I don't see.
Why do you think that's the premise? Destiny just told you the opposite. Why you?
No, he didn't just tell me the opposite. He didn't just.
He just told you that he's a significant contributor.
Pisco, are you not? Okay, so I'm glad.
Destiny, did you not just say?
Hold on, can I just ask a clarifying question, Pisco? It's okay. Do you think that in the case of what Destiny just said, and Destiny can clarify and just jump in, do you think it's the case that Avi is making the server worse? I asked Destiny that question and he said he doesn't know if that's the case or not.
He says that it's impossible for him to disentangle. At this point, I assume that the server is a bunch of different people and it already has a culture that's established. And so you asking him, well, take out this person, Avi, does the server change? How can he answer that with pure knowledge? He's just being honest with you that he doesn't actually know if you take him out, what the effect will be. But he seems to be thinking that this person was an active contributor to the tone, an active member in the debates, and that his participation, not his association, his participation in those debates has, it gives him some propensity to be a certain way. And that's him acting as a principal. That's him as participant, not as him as guilt by association. When someone says guilt by association, what it feels like you're saying is he's
sorry. Can I
only
address
guilty by association.
One of the first 3 points you listed, because you didn't answer my question at all.
Okay.
Destiny, you can clarify here. Do you think it's the case that Avi has made the community worse? If Avi was not there, would it be a better community?
I can't know the answer to that. It might be that somebody else would make it way better. It might be that somebody else would make it way worse. I have no idea.
Okay. So if not somebody else, but just Avi not being there, right? Avi's gone from the community, dips off Discord. It's not. You don't know if it would be the case that it improves.
I don't know. I have no idea. It might be that Avi is actually a moderating force on Isaac, and Avi makes the server better. That could be the case.
I agree. I absolutely think that's the case.
It might also be the case that there might be a member of a KKK organization that instead of lynching black people, they just throw eggs at their house. So he'd be a better. But
that's how absurd the question kind of seems.
I think it's kind of different to say one of these people is on top of the lynchings is also throwing eggs, and if they weren't there wouldn't be any eggs put at the house, right? And saying something like that, and there's a bad culture in this server, and somebody's a moderating force. I think that's a good thing to do. I think what Avi's doing there is good. I think that Pisco, but now we have that clarity. You understand Destiny's position is not that Avi being there makes the server worse, right? You understand that?
But that was never what I was saying. No one here is saying that.
I said that was Destiny's position.
No. What Destiny's position is that Avi, this person Avi, is a significant contributor to this server. that he's a leader in the space, he's ranked among the top people in the space, that he's emblematic of the culture of the space. Is that not Destiny's argument?
Is that emblematic? He's emblematic of the culture in the space? Like, I agree that he's in there and he's one of the top like debaters or whatever. I don't think that in the case of Avi.
Sorry, are we talking about your views or Destiny's views right now?
Sorry, I didn't. You just asked me. I thought you were asking me.
You can at a later point you can discuss your views. No, I'm asking what you think about what Destiny's thoughts are.
I disagree with them.
Okay, I understand you disagree with Destiny, but we're trying to encapsulate what Destiny's views are. And Destiny seems that you can disagree with this. You can say he's going against the trend of the server, that he's beneficial to the server. But Destiny's stated position was he views him as emblematic of the server, that he's a leader of the server, that he's, in that essence, his debate style is everything that Destiny wants to move against, that he's, doesn't agree with. Now you can disagree with that perspective, but what you can't say is that is a perspective of guilt by association. Correct?
Sorry. Pisco, can I get you to clarify, what do you think guilt by association is?
When someone says guilt by association, what they're saying is that you are castigating a person whose only bad acts are mere associations with a principle. That's kind of what it's getting at. That there's a principle who does bad things, and that you are castigating that person, not for what that person is substantively doing, but merely for associated in some unrelated way.
How are they doing, guys?
Are we
with the get any farther?
Themselves. That's what's implied.
We're printing the content right now, boys.
That's why the KKK example.
He can't not understand this, right? There's no way, right?
Are perfect. Not because we think that this server is a place where KKK people go or a place where Nazi people go, but it's to show you how we would treat a principal differently than a mere associate.
Sorry, is principal like a legal term or something? I don't really know what you mean there. Could you clarify what that means?
It's someone who acts as the initial, like the person who's doing the stuff, right? The person, whatever the stuff is, they're involved with it.
Okay, the person doing the stuff, right? So if the thing he's doing, if the stuff being done is just association, we both agreed that would be guilt by association, right?
If all he was doing, if the only thing that you could blame him for was being friends with, as Destiny said, the people on the server, or acting in some very.
I just want an answer to my question.
What's that? I thought I was answering your question.
No, it seems like you were going off on you're going to do another monologue thing or whatever. And the question I'm asking is a really simple question, right? It's just like a quick yes or no. And if you want to clarify afterwards, I think it's fine, right? I just want to get this down. If somebody is if the only thing they were doing is associating with a group, that would be guilt by association, right?
If someone was castigating or blaming someone or in any other way disparaging someone merely for their associations or primarily for their associations, let's interpret this reasonably. Let's not be
Can you just answer the question?
I'm answering it right now.
It's such a simple question.
I'm answering it.
Okay.
If someone is being blamed primarily and substantially for their associations as opposed to their principal acts, I would say that would be a guilt by association, yes.
If the action they were doing was associating with a group, we agree that would be guilt by association, yes.
The action they're doing is associated, I would say, is the same thing as associated. It's just the same thing. You're repeating yourself with more words, yeah.
Okay, I'm making sure that we agree those are the same thing. So if somebody brings up something wait, this guy's a big name in this community, right? There's not necessarily the case that he's specifically doing something that that I can point to that he's doing wrong, but he's just a big name in this community. He's doing a lot of.
Why do you keep saying that? I mean, how many times do you have to get it explained to you?
Hold on, somebody you says, isn't it sufficient?
Don't I have to stop you when you're saying something?
Hold on, I'd let you talk for so long, dude. Just let me finish the sentence here.
Answering your question. I want to stop you.
Stop just a second. Just a second. Stop, Pisco. If we say there's a general trend in this community of a certain behavior, and isn't it sufficient to just say he's part of that community, that would be guilt by association, wouldn't it? Can you answer that question?
No, it wouldn't be guilt by association. So if the only thing if the only thing he's doing is associating, in a sense that you're not participating in the community in any significant way, you're not making posts, you're not really debating, you're friends with people on the server, you're not engaging in the substance of the server, I would say that that's guilt by association. But alternatively, if you're doing the stuff that is engaging in debates in the style that Destiny says that he disdains. You are leading the tone as Destiny says that he is in terms of where the server's going. And, being a leader of the server, a server that Destiny says he doesn't like, those are not associative acts. That's not merely being friends with somebody. Those are substantive acts. Those are, the things that Destiny dislikes about the server are things that he's accusing this person of having.
Okay, so if I say something like, there is a general trend in this server of a certain kind of behavior, and you're in there and you're in that server, this is the evidence I give you for why that's wrong, right? If I say like, you're in there, you're in that server, shouldn't that be sufficient? Do you think that this example I just gave you would be guilt by association?
If all you are in the server.
How's he doing, guys?
You just answered no to that earlier.
If all you're doing is you're in the server and you're not participating, then I would say, most people would say that's guilt by association just by being in the server. And I don't think Destiny would accuse anyone who's just in the server.
When you answered no to that question the first time, it sent me to demon mama mode.
Maybe I misheard it or maybe misunderstood it.
Yeah, that's all right. It's no big deal. If we're saying like, this is the claim here, right? That Avi hasn't done something wrong by virtue of like being in the server, even like being a major member of the community.
No. Stop.
No, it seems like you were going off on like you're gonna do like another like monologue.
Wait, what?
No, it seems like you were going off on like you're gonna do.
That's somebody.
That
must have been somebody else's background. I don't know who that was.
Then I just see this as guilt by association.
You're just disagreeing with Destiny on the facts. Destiny is telling you from his perspective, he is doing things that he disagrees with. He's participating in leading the server.
Maybe it was me laughing.
And I asked for an example, and then you couldn't really give me one.
What do you mean? You don't get to dispute him on those facts, right? You can dispute him on. You can dispute him on those facts. You can dispute him on those facts, but
so I do get to dispute him on the facts.
You can dispute him on the facts, but you do get to dispute him on the facts, but that doesn't get to the heart of your disagreement, which is you're characterizing his criticism as one of guilt by association. Now, he can be wrong about the things, in fact, that this person has done. That can be true, but then he's just wrong on the merits. But he's not making he's not making a guilt by association argument. He's making a failed guilt argument. You see the difference there? One is
he's moved the position back and forth a few times. In Destiny, you can hop in here really quick. Do you think that the position is
wait, I've tried to answer your questions. I've endeavored to answer your questions.
Oh yeah, sorry. Do you have a question for me?
Yeah. Don't you agree that making a failed guilt argument is different than making a guilt by association argument?
I think that making a failed guilt argument, if it's a post hoc thing that you're doing after you like try to like weasel out of it being a guilt by association thing, is kind of not that different. I think we can kind of all see that somebody's just like
your way of getting out of the question is by
I thought I answered the question
directly there.
I thought I answered the question.
They're different, right? They're different. Would you characterize Destiny's
the answer is
yes. Would you characterize Destiny's criticism as a failed guilt argument or a guilt by association argument?
It's both.
How can it be both?
Because it was initially a guilt by association argument, then he moved it to a failed guilt argument.
So Destiny has been lying this whole time. Isn't the more plausible reading?
He's not lying. I don't think he's like trying to trick me, right? Like I just think he's like moving back and forth a bit.
Isn't the more plausible reading of what's going on here is that Destiny hates this server. He associates this person with everything that's wrong with the server by virtue of the fact that this person acts in that server in a major way and substantially contributes to the server. Isn't that enough?
When you say contribute to the server, can you clarify what you mean by that?
Ask Destiny. He debates a lot. He's
the issue
master debater.
So saying they contribute to the server could be either an association alone, right? They contribute to the server by being in there, right? Or they contribute to the server by they contribute to the culture of the server, right? So I need clarity here, otherwise I don't know if it's an association. You say he associates this person with everything wrong with the server.
Is debating participating or is debating associated?
I think that debating is clear. I couldn't imagine Destiny's issue is just he's debating in here.
Well, no, the kind of debating that they're engaged in, you would, if anything,
I don't think there's any evidence he's doing a bad kind of debating.
Okay, that's a fact disagreement. What we're asking is, I'm labeling it's a category. Is the kind of that's a fact disagreement with respect. With respect, that's a fact disagreement.
Pisco. If it's a fact disagreement, right? And you're saying like the fact is, if it's a fact like that you just kind of made up on the spot or whatever, then I think it's worth pointing out that it's a fact disagreement you moved away from the original position on.
I'm asking about the categories. The category is.
I'm aware.
So if someone is debating in the style of this server, whatever it is, you wouldn't call that an associative act. That would be sort of a substantive act, correct?
It wouldn't be So I agree that if what was actually happening,
can I get an answer?
Yeah.
I'm not asking. This
Yeah, hold on. If all he was doing, if all Destiny was criticizing him for was like being like, I don't know, the bad kind of debater or something, then I would agree. But Destiny kind of initially in the argument said that he didn't have any more.
Can you answer my question?
I just did answer your question.
So would that be a substantive act or would that be an associative act?
I just told you.
Can you just tell me in one word, substantive or associative?
Okay, one word, and then I'm going to finish my answer.
Play Among Us.
Yeah, it would be substantive, right?
That would, if that was your original position, would be substantive, but the issue is initially it was a move from the original position. Hold on. It was a move. Hold on. Stop. Pisco, stop. It was a move from the original position, right? That original position was that Destiny said he didn't even think Avi was doing anything wrong. He didn't even think Avi was doing anything wrong.
When he's saying that, don't you think that the better thing is like he's not doing something like evil? What he's doing is Destiny doesn't like it because he doesn't like he's not going to accuse them of being Lawrence Southern, pre-2016 Lawrence Southern. He's not going to accuse them of being KKK members. But what he's saying is it's not wrong in that sense, but it's distasteful to him. That's not precluding.
That's okay. So if somebody says like, "Do you have an issue with this person's behavior?" And like, "No, I don't have any issue with what they're doing," then like saying like it's distasteful is kind of like very different, right? Pisco.
I think that what he was referencing, and Destiny can chime in, but I think what he was saying is that he's not going to call this person a bad person for engaging in that style of debate. But that was not an admission that debate is not a principle or substantive act for purposes of this kind of meta discussion.
Were you watching from the start?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me if I'm just like tripping out here or something. Destiny's initial thing, I said like, do you think there's something issuesome with what Avi was doing? And then Destiny responded no to that. Did I misremember that? Did I like inject that into my brain that I get inception or something? Or did that
I just explained why that is can be true. That can be true, but it also
that happened, right?
As you also mentioned that the substantive debate is an act and not just a mere
did that happen? That thing I just mentioned, did it happen?
You just told me, right?
True.
That
this is what we're watching right now, guys.
Can you answer the question? That was something that did happen, right? I'm not tripping out there.
That's correct. Okay. But you just mentioned that
you think that distastefulness would be an issue.
What other Final Fantasy 7 things you play?
You think if I found an action something doing distasteful, that would be an issue?
What's wrong? Are you not willing to answer my questions?
This combo, dude.
You're right. I don't know what question am I avoiding?
By virtue of you saying that engaging in this kind of debate in this server is a principle or substantive act and not merely associative, you are conceding, in other words, that Destiny, by merely mentioning that he's doing that, is not making a guilt by association argument. That must follow logically. Okay. Yes.
So Pisco, if you're saying that there initially was a different position and it was changed, then yes, right? But the issue is like the position initially, right, was something different. Hold on, Pisco. We have epic piano music in the background right now. I don't want you to interrupt that, okay? So in the case of Destiny's original position, it was that there was no issue, right? There was no issue whatsoever with anything.
Let's just address the current position. The current position, as stated, is not guilt by association, right?
Pisco, stop.
The current position is not guilt by association, correct?
I agree. The new position is not, Pisco. I agree. But hold on. You just hold just a second, because you're saying I was avoiding your question. I think you answered the question, okay, Pisco? Now here's my question for you. We're trading questions. Here's my question for you. If your initial position is like nothing he did was issuesome, then saying like what he did was distasteful would be kind of a contradiction, right, Pisco?
No, I don't think it is.
You think? Okay, so you think to say
and I would like 30 seconds to explain it.
Okay, can I just to make sure that I've got this right?
Yeah.
It's distasteful but not issuesome, and that's not a contradiction.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and clarify.
The distinction being made is one of personal preference. I don't particularly love heavy metal, right? I find it distasteful, but I don't find it wrong, and I don't think like poorly of people who engage in heavy metal, but I don't want to participate in it, and I wouldn't want to go to a heavy metal concert. If your mind can comprehend something as simple as that, then you can comprehend the distinction that Destiny was making in that moment.
So distasteful, what you meant by that was just like it's not to your taste, not like distasteful in like the usual sense where it's like offensive or like wrong, right? You didn't mean like offensive or anything.
So one would be like a personal preference that he doesn't ascribe any like moral weight to, and the other would be something that's like reprehensible or something that, you know, he
So wouldn't
he
it
would
be kind
think
of
less
weird
of
if I
you
was
for
like, I
engaging
don't
in.
want to. Sure. So wouldn't it be kind of fucking weird if I was like, bro, you play heavy metal? I can't associate with you. I'm not going to talk to you on stream. Wouldn't it be kind of weird?
If what you're engaged, so let's say that, you know, Destiny's a musician.
Can you answer that? Wouldn't that be kind of weird?
Yeah, no, I will. Yeah.
Okay.
Moonlight
I don't think it would be wrong if Destiny was
I know what
a
it sounds like, but
musician,
I haven't- I
right?
don't know, like, the
and
actual music.
the heavy metalist wants to come on to play heavy metal on his musical stream. And what this person, I assumingly wants to do is come on the stream and debate in the style that the very style that Destiny finds distasteful. And so it's not a condemnation of this person or this channel, but it's blaming someone, or not blaming, I shouldn't say blaming, but demonstrating that an unwillingness to have that kind of distasteful content on their stream.
Do you think
What's so hard about that?
Yeah. Okay. So what's
That's not
really weird about
associative.
what's really weird about it, right, is that the position moved around a lot, and it seems like the new position is that like he just finds it personally.
What's the old position?
Hold on. He just finds it personally like kind of like icky or whatever. It's not his cup of tea, and that there's nothing Avi did that's like at all wrong, right? But that kind of like moved back and forth a couple of times. Initially, it was an issue some.
No, totally
There were
consistent
things
with
that
the
Avi done that
current
were issue some.
That's
right?
totally consistent with the current position.
The comparisons were to ISIS and the KKK. Like, come on, those are clearly implying it's issue some.
Okay, those comparisons were meant to elucidate the difference between a mere association and a substantial or significant or leadership act. Those were not meant to ascribe to this debate channel the moral qualities of ISIS or KKK or Nazis. It was a
I don't
analogy.
think he was saying they
It
were
was a comparison.
I'm not saying the Destiny was saying they were like as bad as ISIS. I'm saying the Destiny was like clearly implying
Why do
that it
you
was
bring those up as
right?
though they're anything to the conversation?
Because they're clearly implying it's issue some. Like, come on now.
No. That wasn't getting at the heart of the issue versus distasteful dichotomy. That was getting at the heart of.
Wait, hold on. Let me use
associated
oh my
acts.
God, if that was the issue, let me use a different example. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's say that I really don't like the way that no offense, okay, I don't like the way Mustang drivers drive. Okay, Mustang drivers, Challengers, and Chargers. I don't want any of those motherfuckers driving my car. If somebody was part of the community of people that drove those cars, I wouldn't want them driving my car. But if they were friends with a Mustang driver, then I could let them drive my car. That doesn't seem like participating in that community versus being associated with it, right? Or somebody.
Okay, wait. So you don't like you would think it would be an issue if like a Mustang driver drove your car. You think that the car would like get fucked up or something, right?
Yeah, that's right. But
Yeah, right.
Okay. So if like if the issue is that you think like the Mustang driver is gonna fuck your car up or something, right? I don't. This is kind of
It's basically discrimination.
yeah,
It's discrimination. So
Whoa.
it's saying that there's
calm down.
that certain people have a propensity to.
I don't think the Mustang thing is that severe. We can in the case of like the Mustang driver example, right?
No, hold on, wait. Pisco is a little bit autistic. I'm sorry. When he says discrimination, he means it literally. Like you're discriminating. You're choosing against like certain types of people. He doesn't mean like in bad ways. Like we discriminate when we say that like this is a woman's. No, that's a bad example because that is kind of. But like when we say like I don't want to drink any Pepsi, I just want like Coke. I'm discriminating against the type of products. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
understand
I
what
mean.
you're saying.
Right. So if someone is talking in the movie theater,
Oh my God.
and
There's
you see
no
them
way
talking in the
they're
movie
ever
theater,
solving
and they
this. It's
ask you
never
later
gonna
on,
happen.
do you want to catch a movie later? And you say, no, I saw you talk in the movie theater. You're discriminating with them on the basis of their prior bad acts, their prior substantive acts in the movie theater, and you're using that to. Not because they're associated with moviegoers that talk in the whatever. Let's say they had a friend who talked there, but because they actually talked in the movie theater. That is discrimination of the sort that Destiny is applying to people in that server who engaged in those acts, and especially thought leaders or tone setters in that space. And I don't think that that's a guilt by associating. You can call him wrong. You can say that he's.
Can I ask? So the issue is Destiny isn't really like on board with the idea that like obviously they're the one responsible for the tone there. Destiny, you can clarify there, but you said that he could even possibly be like a moderating
He
force.
said he doesn't know. Right? He doesn't say. But
Yeah,
he says
I know.
it's emblematic.
Yeah, exactly. It's not part of his claim then.
No,
Pisco.
but he's saying it's emblematic.
It's not part of his claim. Pisco.
Emblematic of the kind of debate style that goes on there, and I think he did say he's a leader or a substantial contributor, whatever that means, to the style, right?
No,
The style?
Destiny. Can you mic up again so I can get you to clarify this for Pisco? You don't think it could be? You said it could even be possible that Avi is a moderating force, right?
It's possible, but I don't want to associate people that are participants in that community.
I was just asking you to clarify that for Pisco, because
Sure,
he's
okay.
under the impression. Yeah, he's under the impression that that's not your position. That in fact, you think that he's
No, I
contributing
don't
to
think
the
he said
style.
that. I think Pisco is saying that that's irrelevant. It's not part of the fact.
No, he was just saying it was contributing to the style. I don't know, maybe.
Well, yeah, no, he is contributing to the
He is.
style, but he still might be a moderating force. He could be contributing to the style and still be a moderating force.
So
right?
contributing to the style, but in like a positive way, where it's like actually a good thing.
Yeah, but it's impossible for me to tell. I can't know. He's part of the community.
Okay, so then like it's not part of your argument for why Avi's an issue is not because of the fact that he's like contributing to the style of the server, right?
No, it's that he's participating in it. He's
not-
likely
he's
contributing
Part of
to
it.
it.
He's part of it.
Sorry,
He's emblematic of
your
it.
answer to that question was no, right, Destiny? Just so Pisco could hear.
No, it's wait. Ask the
Okay.
question again.
Okay, the question is, no relevant part of your argument is the idea that Avi is contributing to the style, correct?
It's not a necessary part. It's a likely part, but it's not. I don't need that part. I've just said it's because he's participating in it.
Okay, it's yeah. So
I listed off like 4 things there.
You
that
think
he-
it's a likely? Hold on. It's a likely part, Destiny.
Yeah, it's likely that he's contributing to the things that I don't like in that server, considering he's like the master debater tier, and I think I've seen him participate in debates. So like, yeah.
do you think that with just that piece of information alone, that would be enough to like?
When did I say that was
Avi, if you
necessary?
could
Destiny just said it wasn't necessary. You picked out.
Pisco, hold on. Let me finish my sentence. Pisco, hold on. Pisco,
From a list of 4.
Pisco, chill.
You picked out something from a list of 4.
Pisco.
Picked out something from a list of 4.
Pisco.
And then
Pisco,
you're
stop.
trying
Hold on,
to act
Jesus.
as though
Calm
anyone
down.
ever implied that it was a necessary
Can you
condition.
get like Destiny as a moderator in here? Can
That
you like
was a
calm Pisco down?
necessary
Can you like soothe
condition
him?
for saying that something is guilt by association or
Jeez.
financial act.
Destiny, can you make sure the piano's
just
audible so we can get
said-
some calming forces in here, some
You
moderating
just
forces?
said- You just
Wait,
said
just
that.
engage with what Pisco's saying. Go. He's
can't.
representing my side. That's my
He's
lawyer, dog.
he's just over talking me when I try to address the points he's making.
Okay,
Bro,
let him.
I've
Pisco,
let you
let him address.
overtalk me like
Pisco,
5 times.
let him make his point one more time. Okay, go ahead.
So, Pisco, when it comes to this idea, right, that Destiny is like the core aspect of his argument, or an important part of his argument, or even like a necessary part of his argument, is this idea that that Avi is contributing to the style, just something that Destiny admits he doesn't know one way or the other on. Do you really think this is like
He just said it was
aspect of
likely. He just
Okay.
told you. Did he just say it was likely? Yes
He
or no?
doesn't know.
Did he just say it was likely?
Evidence for why it was likely was the fact that he's in there.
You can disagree with it. No. That wasn't his argument.
He's in there as a.
Are you
he's
listening
in there
to
with a mega debater role.
Did
has
he?
the mega
Did he?
debater role.
Okay, so that's different than what you just said, right?
Sorry, I didn't clarify he had the
different
mega
than what you just
debater
said?
role. I fucked up, Pisco. I fucked up. I forgot to clarify he has the mega debater role.
Okay, so
Sorry.
so did Destiny say that it's likely that he contributes to the tone?
It's Destiny just did
Did he
say that. Yeah.
Yes or no? Okay. So and that he said it wasn't necessary, nor did I say it was necessary. For us, or at least for Destiny. Sorry, I don't know this person, so I don't know the server either. But for Destiny, it seems to be enough that he's.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why Destiny. Destiny, why did you drag Pisco in as your defense force?
I don't know if you have like I don't know if there's like something wrong with you. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say that
Is
in a more
another
polite
insult?
way. No, I'm not. I'm really not trying to insult you. I don't know if there's like.
Yeah, you. Oh, come on. You're
No.
obviously trying. Come on. You were trying to insult me there.
This is like like a very, very, very obvious thing to me. Obvious, get it? And I feel like it's self-evident. So I brought in Pisco to see if I was like insane, but like it seems like I can't tell if you were invested in an argument. I'm trying to like guess. I'm accusing you of being bad faith now, right? So you can't like engage in this part of the conversation. But like I don't know if you were like invested in like owning me on Twitter. Now that you're here, you're like up to this, but like.
Nah, you quote tweeted me, right?
No, yeah, I know, but you're obviously upset about that. But like I'm trying to figure out like.
I'm super seething right now.
Well, yeah, but like the issue is that like you're doing this weird like word game with like what does association mean, right?
It's not a word game. It's
No.
just-
Hold on. You seem to be not understanding that you're associating in a community where the community are participating, and you're doing this weird equivocation where you're like watering down association to mean like everything. Like,
Yes.
That guy over there, he's like associating in that community. He's associated with that community. Like, let's say, for instance, you say like, oh, like this guy's associated with that community. Oh, cool. Like, how is he like friends with me? No, he's the CEO. Wait, no, he's not associated with that community. He's like the fucking leader of that community, right? That's not what association means. He's like,
do you think
he's
that
like,
Avi's the leader of the Ask Yourself Discord? Do you
yes,
think
he's one of the leaders. Yes,
Wouldn't it be Ask Yourself?
yes.
Wouldn't
He
it
can be wrong about. Wait, sorry. He can be wrong about that, and you can fight him on the facts.
Hold
but
on, just a moment, Pisco,
Excuse
before we
me.
move on to
Wait.
I want to be able to address. I want to be able to address Destiny's
He
point.
can be
I know- I know
wrong
you-
about that.
Wait, let him. I'm
Pisco.
curious. Let him address my point. Let's hear it. I'm curious.
Pisco.
Real quick.
So if you're saying that like Avi is like the leader of this community,
One
right?
of the leaders. Come on. Go ahead.
Okay, he's one of the he's a leading figure, right?
Yeah.
This is his issue. Do you think that Avi is doing something in this community which is causing the server to be worse?
You're asking me things that are unknowable, right? Without like But you're also asking me things that are irrelevant.
It's not necessary. That's not relevant.
Like,
So
again, if I were to show you, let's hold on. If I were to show you, hold on, wait,
You go ahead.
Yeah, let's say that I show you. Let's say that I really, really, really fucking hate the color blue. Okay, I hate blue and all shades of blue, and I want all of my stuff to be purple. Okay, and let's say there are two people and they're part of like the blue community. Okay, and they fucking post blue shit everywhere, and I don't want people that are like participating in the blue community to do interior decoration because I just want purple shit. Okay, and then let's say there's like the second in command is like, I want to decorate your house, and I'm like, bro, you are literally a lead participant in the blue community. Now, if you were to ask me, well, hold on, maybe that guy's trying to make them like less blue. Maybe he's trying to shift them different hues or whatever. Like, I don't know. He might be. I have no way of honestly knowing that. I don't have that much insight into the inner workings or machinations of that particular community. But I don't really care. I just don't want to. I don't want to have any blue fuckers like decorating my house.
So just for the record, the piece of evidence you're using, right? The primary piece of evidence is the fact that he's like a leading figure in this community, right?
The piece of evidence is that
why are you so befuddled by this?
Wait, hold on, wait. It's one. He is like, he's one of the lead figures. He's literally got like the master tier debate stuff. He's got dozens or hundreds of like debates posted on YouTube. And I remember firsthand watching him and Isaac like do the ultimate debate bro shit. And people have been linking stuff in chat. I haven't listened to it, but I don't know. Maybe do like the ultimate debate bro shit in that server and then in other servers.
Okay, you keep mentioning this last part, right? You keep tacking that on there. This would actually, like, if this was true, it would make your position not guilt by association. You actually think the kind of thing that he's going to do.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Even if I dump that last part, first of all, you're insane if you think I'm going to have a record of like debates from 3 or 4 years ago.
I can remember a fucking debate that happened 3 or 4 years ago to give you the names of them. Like, really? I remember that I debated Avi about 3 years ago.
Have you ever debated in my Discord before?
Yes.
Can you give me the names of some of the people you actively debate on my Discord server?
This guy named Void something. I can give you his name.
Void something?
Yeah, he's like
nice.
That's
like,
it.
Yeah, he's got like the fork bomb thing.
Don't care. Void something. You don't even know the guy. So what do you know?
Right.
Do you actually remember somebody's? Do you remember anybody's name?
Give you the name.
But this doesn't even matter because the question, like, he could be wrong about the debates. Destiny could be, confusing Avi with someone else. He could be wrong that he's a leader. Destiny could be wrong about everything he has to say about Avi. Then he would be making a wrong argument on the substantive guilt front, but he wouldn't be making a guilt by association argument. You agree with that, right?
Sorry, this is like a complete pivot from the thing that Justin.
So it's not a pivot, right? So you've been accusing him of making a guilt by association argument, yes or no? That's what your main accusation is.
Yeah, and it seems
his debate is about, right?
To a thing. Yeah, his argument has changed now to a thing that's just you can't substantiate it, which is kind of proof that his original claim could not.
What was his original claim compared to his new one?
His original claim was that Avi is part of the Ask Yourself universe.
How is that inconsistent with this position?
Because his reason, he said, I want to avoid all the people like that, right? All the people like the Ask Yourself universe.
Yeah, it's totally consistent with his position right now.
The way you are saying what is the contradiction? Like these people, the way you're saying he's like these people is because he's part of this Discord community, right? He's just part of the community. He's part of the Ask Yourself universe. Not the idea he's like the top guy in the Discord who's causing the Discord server to be a certain way.
What's a contradiction? What is a contradiction?
What is a contradiction? I'm going to say P and not P, and you guys are going to make fun of me for being like, ask yourself. It's when you have two claims which could not be the kind of thing that you could fit together, right? Two claims.
Okay, so is it a contradiction to say? Is it a contradiction to say?
Go ahead, Pisco.
Is it a contradiction to say that I don't want to debate with people who are like this on the server, and then to say everything that Destiny has said, expanding on that reasoning? Is that a contradiction?
It's not a contradiction. It's saying like,
okay, so why did you say that he's changing his position?
They're close.
And he's not changing his position.
He's almost got him, dude.
The issue is like,
what is he changing?
Pisco, can you slow down and chill out?
I'm chill.
Yeah, you sound super chill. If the position he has, right, is that he's associated with a group of people who have like a bad pattern of behavior or something, right? And then you move the position to something like, oh no, he's actually not just associated with these people, he does it too, right? I just can't give you any examples or any proof. I can't give you any evidence.
What does he change?
It's never on his YouTube channel. He never does it on YouTube.
What elements of his position have changed?
He didn't do it with you. He didn't do it with any other examples you could ever find.
What has changed?
Kind of fucking wacky to me, Pisco.
What element of his position has changed?
I just told you. Were you too busy like not listening to my answer?
You've said that he's added explanations.
Was it the
he's added rationale when asked?
Something distracting you.
So he's added rationales. He's added explanation. But what about the second position that you characterize as has changed?
If he's adding rationales afterwards to clarify the position, do you think somebody's crazy for interpreting it like just with the things he listed initially?
You're crazy for saying he's contradicting himself.
Do you think it's crazy to just interpret like a normal way, like just like the way he initially said it?
No, I think a normal person when says like I don't want to deal with people like that would be, the assumption would be that person is like that, and that there's a basis for thinking that he's like that. Correct?
So if you're saying the basis for thinking he's like that is the fact that he's in this community, associating with these people initially, and then you have to specify afterwards.
What's the tweet? What's the first tweet? Read it.
The first tweet?
Yeah. What are you talking? Did he say that
I deleted the tweet. I don't know. I can read you the tweet, right? I can read it because I wrote it down, but not because it's not still there. It's gone.
All right, read it because you wrote it down.
Yeah. So like I said, I said this at the beginning of the conversation that you were apparently watching. But he said in quotes, "Guilt by association," then in all caps. What? Lol, with like 40 fucking question marks after. Spam and question marks. That man had so many question marks, it's unreal. I've never seen that many question marks in my life.
So that's his quote first position. That response is his quote first position, or was there a first tweet?
The first position would be the thing he said about in regards to.
Okay, so that's what I want to know, not the exasperated.
Destiny, buddy. You got to get Pisco. You got to jump back in here and save Pisco. Yeah, I know what the fuck he's talking about.
Pisco,
your friend is doing the worst possible job of defending your position.
True, Pisco. You're just not. You're lost.
Wait, what? I want to know what his first position was and what tweet.
Pisco, the problem is that like you haven't established why. Listen, Avi's associated with the community, and you're trying to say that Avi is bad just because what he does stuff in the community because of his association with the community. How you're failing to distinguish this.
I want to know what the first position was.
Wait, I want you to meaningfully distinguish. Tell me why Avi is just not associated with the community by like doing things that are associated with the community, like debating in the server.
Yeah, I guess in that point, like everything and anything is associated.
Not everything, not if he didn't do anything at all with the server, right? He's in the server and he's associated with it. So tell me.
You're saying there was wait. So here's the thing: you could say that wouldn't be an association. You could say he's in the server doing things that are bad, right? Like for example, contributing to a certain kind of style.
Hold on. Destiny. No, Pisco. What is it, Pisco? What is a single thing? Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. I gotta ask Pisco. Pisco just made a false claim. Pisco made a false claim. Pisco, what?
Give me a second.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you ask first.
You ask Pisco. Sure. Yeah, I think I was speaking first on my end at least. In the case of say for example like the thing you bring up that Avi's doing wrong is that he contributes to a certain kind of climate in the culture, but you're not really sure if that's right or wrong. You're not really sure if he does because it's kind of unknowable and you can't give me any examples. Then it's kind of just the only thing you're left with.
Did he say it was likely?
He said it was likely and that it's not even necessary for his point, right? So I'm just attacking the parts
He's being honest with you. He's being honest with you that he suspects it's likely.
I know. He doesn't know, right? He has no fucking idea. The only way he's able to say it's likely.
So how can you condemn a single action?
I can't talk with both.
I know. Hold on. I'm just trying to figure out because Pisco, how can you condemn Avi's actions if you haven't given me a single morally bad thing that he's done aside from being associated with the server?
Aside from the thing that you don't even know is true.
Yeah, you don't even know if that. Or even more, how can you say that without even knowing the action?
You're trolling me right now?
Hold on, I had a cough. I'm saying, how can you tell me all you're giving me is an association with the server? You haven't given me a single bad action. And then furthermore, you're trying to say that there is no bad action that even matters. But you're trying to say that his behavior is condemnable. How can his behavior be condemnable if you can't even give me a bad behavior?
You gotta calm down. That makes no sense.
I'm asking Pisco.
You know what? You're right.
You can just a second, bud. If the thing you're saying is wrong, right, is this thing that you don't know if it's true or not, right? This is the only thing you just think is like kind of possibly likely, but you don't really know one way or the other.
You're lying right now.
I'm lying?
Yes.
Okay.
Is our argument...
Would this work in a court of law, Pisco? You just ad hom the people until they give up? Is that like, oh, jury, I just want to say that the defense is fucking lying? Like,
is the argument, did we ever say it's only because they're contributing to a culture? Did Destiny say that?
No.
Did he also mention that he participates?
The other things you mentioned were associations, Pisco. That's my point.
No, wait. You agreed?
I feel like it's insane.
We're gonna bully Pisco over the edge, guys.
Counter argument I've ever heard in my life. You somehow managed to take the arguments Destiny was making and make worse versions of the same ones.
You agreed about 10 minutes ago that participating in these bad-natured debates, whatever they are,
we've donated $50.
Would be not an association.
I'll play all the demos
after. Did you say that?
Sorry.
Did I say that him participating would be not an association?
It would be like a substantive underlying act, right?
He says he doesn't know if that's true or not, so it's not a necessary part of his position.
Wait. Sorry. He says Destiny.
It's not a necessary part of his.
Destiny maintains. Don't conflate things. One is the.
It's not a conflation. I'm saying he says that's not a necessary part of his position.
I'd like to finish a sentence.
You're right. I've been interrupting you, and you've never interrupted me.
You have been.
Pisco, and you talk like 3 times as long, Pisco, and you talk twice as fast. Like, go ahead.
Okay. One thing is him contributing, him leading, him being an intensifier. Destiny has told you, totally agree. He said that he is not omniscient and he can't know that if he removes Avi,
the synth guy has to be like broken mentally. He has to be like a mentally broken person.
He said that he thinks it's likely that he's contributes to the culture. He's also said separately, and you've agreed that this is an underlying substantive act and not merely an association, that Avi participates in these debates, the very debates.
I should be working on my manifesto, guys. This is why it's never getting done.
You agreed that was an underlying substantive act. And by virtue of you saying the only thing that Destiny can point to is this stuff that he says that is merely likely and he can't confirm, that would be misleading people, because there's another set of things, namely participating in these debates, which is verifiable by Destiny's testimony. Correct?
Because you're correct, please, Pisco. I have a question for you though.
Wait,
I was like, Pisco, hold on, just a moment. Stop. I let you talk for like an hour. Like,
yeah, Pisco, you just let him ask a question. You didn't put a question mark. You didn't even have a question mark at the end of that, Pisco. Sorry, go ahead, Sinthe.
True. Destiny took them all. Pisco, I want to ask you just a really simple question, right? If I was like the group of people who you associate with, right? I think they reflect your moral character. Would you say that I'm saying there that you are guilty by association, Pisco?
No, I don't think so. Because you could say that if you're not necessarily, right, it could be at some level of extremity, but reasonable people might say the people you hang out with, you're more likely to do certain acts, or like the fact that you hang out all day with a motorcycle gang means you're more likely to have done bad acts with a motorcycle gang. I'm not in regular, like, reasonable parlance, people might take that as not, a guilt by association, but the fact that you're associating with these people means that you're more likely to have done some underlying things. But in sort of formalistically, I would agree it is a guilt by association act, barring evidence of something else. But
so then without any actual videos or evidence presented, then it's all guilt by association. He admitted it.
Just a sec. Hold on.
Yeah, he admitted it.
Let me engage with Pisco's point, okay? So, Pisco, if you're saying the people you hang out with reflect your character is not guilt by association, what if I was to say, like, the people you hang out with are your character?
Formalistically, it would be a guilt by association, the first iteration, right? Formalistically. But when people are saying that in sort of common parlance, what they're saying is that the fact that you're spending so much time with them, it means that we think that you're doing stuff, if you're hanging out with the bad kids in the bad part of town, then you're probably doing bad things. But I would agree that
so that would be guilt by association, you're saying. So the people you hang out with are your...
You have to think about how people talk, right?
So please. The people who you hang out with are your character, is guilt by association. So if I say something
yes.
Okay, so what if I just move the words around? Instead of the people who you hang out with are your character, what if I say, like, you are who you hang around? That's still guilt by association, right?
I would say formalistically, more or less. It strikes at kind of the heart of what
if I was like,
guilt by association?
What if I was like, my mom told me when I grew up, you are who you hang around, and I 100% believe that. That would be guilt by association. Right?
Again, not in common parlance, not the way like regular people talk, but like formalistically, I would agree that if all you have is evidence of them merely associating with bad people, that would be a guilt by association argument. If that's
it feels like, Pisco, it feels like you're just flipping between whatever language you want to, like, do you want to use common parlance or legal or what? Why do you keep like switching?
Well, that's why I'm distinguishing between the two every time I say it.
So only when it's convenient for you.
Well, no, just to provide maximum clarity that when someone says, you are who you hang out with, they're not what they're getting at is, if you hang out with the bad people, you're going to do bad things. You're going to be a bad person. That's what they're saying.
Okay, but what bad things has Avi done?
Well, in your mind, Destiny, until recently, I guess.
Can we stop, I don't want to like the ping ponging back and forth off of each other, right? So, Pisco, if you're saying like
the point of the argument,
hold on. If I say that, right, and you agree it's guilt by association, then me saying like guilt by association, me saying like Destiny does this guilt by association thing. If I say that without any kind of context, it's not like entirely crazy, right? Like I didn't even list a context. I just say Destiny does this guilt by association.
We don't even know what he said. Because you haven't told us what he said initially.
Oh, what he said was like verbatim what I said there. He told Xander Hall that your mom, that his mom told him you are who you hang around, and he 100% believes that, right? Like this is verbatim what he said. You agree that's guilt by association. So it's not great. What?
Were you trolling Pisco? I don't know.
That's not a tweet. He said that on stream.
The synth dude is actually insane. This guy is insane. So now it's just, let's see if we can make Pisco like hate himself too.
Believe that. I just told you like 3 times in a row. Are you on Mars?
Listen, having not even heard that, I had already sort of, in my brain is so wrinkled, predicted what the disconnect is. Because normal people, when they say that, are not saying like you're guilty because you hang out with that. But when a mother says that, they're worried that their child is going to start acting like the people they hang around with. Not that they're merely associated and they're like, I don't know, they run a rehab center and they have.
You've heard that 3 times. Don't say you didn't. You without even having heard that, you predicted. You like said it was guilt by association, right? So it's not crazy to call it that. If somebody says if somebody calls that guilt by association, do you think they're a crazy person, Pisco, or are they just like a normal person interpreting that?
No, I think you're pretty. I think you're an
reasonable.
insane person because you have to realize that how when people talk.
You're right, Pisco.
You can't just ad hominem because you fail to address his argument substantially.
No, he asked me if I thought that you were crazy.
That's too far.
You asked me whether or not I thought you were like a crazy person, and I said yes. I think you would be an insane person because normal people talk in a way that's different than the kind of you cannot just transplant your debate knowledge to the realm of like regular speech. It doesn't work. And then also don't hold him to that, right? Don't hold him to that. If he's clarifying now what his stance is,
he like predicted like it was crazy that I said this, right? You could like not like don't hold him to that, but he said like all caps, like what lol with like 400 question marks.
No, because I think that actually
the number keeps inflating. To be fair, I keep boosting the question marks. It started out as 4, then it became 8, then it became 4, now it's 400. Right.
It shows like a lack of understanding of how like normal people talk.
You're right. Normal people talk with like what lol in all caps and like 80 question marks.
Not that statement. Your response to his initial statement.
When I hear you are who you hang around, the fact that I think that that's guilt by association is fucking crazy. I'm insane for thinking that. But is there anything else you want to talk about, Pisco?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Can I not? I'm not trolling. I just want to ask like 2 non-troll questions.
You let Pisco
hold on.
get his word in edgewise.
Wait, hold on. Real quick, Sinthe.
Don't silence my new best friend.
I've got to know, Sinthe. So when somebody says you are who you hang around, why do people think that that's like a thing they say? Why do people say that? Why are parents worried about that?
Because they don't want you associating with certain types of people who might influence your behavior in bad ways.
That last part, you got it. Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead.
That wasn't the mic drop moment that either of you think. This is you justifying guilt by association.
No.
All right, man. You're right. I'm crazy. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Anything else?
I just want to clarify.
Now that we've settled this matter, let's move on to the next.
I want to clarify for everyone. I want to clarify for everyone listening that I don't know who this other person's name is in the call. Is it Sinthe? Sinthe.
Yeah, sure.
He admitted that Destiny's current, or at least his current argument, and not his statement in the context of a stream, that his current argument is not a guilt by association argument. That's correct, right? What I just said.
Yeah, I've clarified that like 80 times.
Okay.
That's so you think it is?
Well, it isn't that Destiny winning the debate.
All right. Pisco, I loved talking with you. You seem like a great guy, but it is 1:28 where I am, right? I gotta go like play Among Us and then go to bed, okay? I got stuff to do. Are we okay with leaving it here? Do you feel like this is an okay place to leave it, Pisco?
Yeah, I think it's an okay place to leave it where you admit that it's not a guilt by association argument.
So true. You owned me with that one, Pisco. That was the dub you needed.
Well, you just said it, so...
Yeah, you're right. It's not now, after you changed it, it's not a guilt by association argument. You're right, Pisco. You caught me on that one. I'm gonna hop out. If there's anything you want to talk with me about or anything you wanted to mention, just let me know, and I'm down to talk anytime you want. Peace. Have a good one. Oh, you're not gonna say goodbye to me? I see how it is.
Are you not gonna say goodbye to him, Pisco?
No, you're not gonna say goodbye to me. That's kind of messed up.
You'd already left. I wasn't. That's
kind of messed up.
Okay.
Thanks, Thanks for coming on to debate.
It really was a pleasure.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. Do you think that something is like broken in his brain? What? Tell me. Can you please explain to me?
Yeah.
How? What's happening? I tried really hard. I reset 6 times in that discussion. It's like, okay, hold on. What about if John is friends with Ron? And then what if Jerry comes along and he's actually in the KKK? And then he's like, I don't understand. Avi isn't in the KKK.
Yeah. I think the problem is he's shifting the argument based on whether or not you are wrong on the facts. Like you're wrong about whether or not he's a thought leader. You're wrong about whether he engaged in the debate. And that's an okay thing to fight about. If he's saying that you're an idiot for thinking that this person is involved in debates, that's him disagreeing with you, but acknowledging that it's not a guilt by association argument. And I don't think he could ever bridge that that divide. And I also think that he was reading way too much into your, initial statement that I didn't even know about until now.
What was my initial statement?
I guess that you said that my mama always said,
Oh yeah, but that's like a common
part.
part. It's like a
Yes,
saying,
it's-
right? I'm not literally saying that like if you're like that's like like imagine you attacking me and you're like Destiny. Do you think that if a healthy 14-year-old boy hangs around a bunch of 18-year-old trans women that he's going to turn trans? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, didn't you say you are who you hang around? Well, it's like, okay, yeah, but now we're like you're, and it looks like I've lost the debate, I guess, if you read that like super literally. But it's like, okay.
The point of that statement is not don't associate with them merely for the association. It's don't associate because you'll turn into them.
Yeah,
Or
he got
because
it at the
you'll-
last part there. He hit it. He was like, oh, it's because eventually your behavior will change, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, I was losing my mind listening to it.
That guy, by the way, if you ever, that's what the AY server, have you ever been in that Discord server before?
No. I in the Piscord, that's my Discord, by the way.
Why would you name it that?
Someone, I forget who, someone named it. Now they're going to get mad at me for not,
Oh, no.
for not mentioning it. But in the in the Piscord, we have a lot of like conversations like that, but usually nothing where it was that much interrupting. We have a little bit of interrupting, but no, I've never been on that.
Well, my issue wasn't this guy's interrupting. It's like, it seemed like it's very rare. I'll say that this, I sound so like a bully. Fuck, I don't mean to, but like, it's exceptional when I run into somebody that can't follow like pretty basic deductive pathways like this. Like if P, it's also weird because he was like quoting prop logic, but he seems like he couldn't follow like an if P then Q. Like I seem like he was having a really hard time with really basic like logic structures.
Which is weird because he seems like a smart guy.
Yeah, that's why I assume like maybe he like really hates me on Twitter and he felt like invested in the argument he had to rep a certain side. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and he kept taking out arguments, components of arguments, and implying that we were making them necessary conditions, right? So the fact that you were saying that he's, I don't know, he's contributing to the tone or he's a leader in the space, that's somehow sufficient for your argument, or that we're saying that it's necessary when we never said that. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. And I think the most significant for you is the fact that he is like that.
Maybe. And then like the fact that something else that makes me wonder is like the fact that this is where I kind of wonder about the bad faith thing, is when he's like, well, can you remember any names? Like, bro, I was active in this group in like 2018. I don't remember the names of anybody that like debated in there. I don't. I know Avi, ask yourself. I know that like the Batman guy is in there sometimes. And I know that Darth Dawkins is in there. They're two like insane presuppositionalists. The first guy was like a teacher that inhaled a lot of mold and then went crazy. And the second guy is like a professional internet debater. They're crazy weird people. But yeah, like
mold.
Yeah, he used to be a teacher, and then he inhaled a ton of mold, and now he's like refounded
like
by
euphemism.
No,
like black mold.
No, like something in his house. He apparently had a huge mold problem, and then he like became like this crazy like religious presuppositionalist, and now he debates in Discord servers all day. His name is Mr. Batman. He's like he's a wild guy, but yeah.
Yeah, I want to ambush you.
Ambush me away, buddy. What's up?
Listen, I agree that you shouldn't have to nuke your career. In I don't know, prostrate yourself and humble yourself constantly to, if you did something wrong in the past. But for the sake of everyone who might have been influenced by you, for the sake of for you not having to field obnoxious comments based on your quote associations, don't you think just acknowledging fault is I think you've said before, Destiny, that true change can't come without acknowledging fault.
Well,
right? something like
without
that.
personally acknowledging. Yeah, I don't know about publicly,
Personally
but yeah,
acknowledging
of course, yeah.
And one of the things that I think most people like about you, certainly the thing that I defended you most on in that obnoxious panel with Erudite and Vivian Wolf, is that you say the thing that you feel even when it's difficult for your career.
Hold on. I want to be like super clear on this, okay? Now, I would like to think, especially with like the whole like pregnancy and abortion and all that, I would like to think that given the opportunity to make what I consider to be the best character decision at all points in time, that I would do that. But I'm very honest about the things that I say. I'm very honest about the position that I'm in. Like, I have lost a lot because of the character that I have on the internet. When I say character, I mean like hopefully of good moral, like in terms of standing for what I believe in. But at the end of the day, I'm still making like 10x or 20x or whatever the median income, right? So like I can sit here and say like, yeah, guys, I'm willing to burn these bridges and not have these connections, blah, 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 blah. But I'm saying that with like 6,000 concurrent viewers and like a big 6-figure income, right? I don't know. I would hope I'd make the same decisions. But if it was the difference between me having like 500 concurrent viewers and 90 concurrent viewers, there might be some topics that I would avoid, maybe, right? Or some things that I just wouldn't ever, maybe. That might be the case, you know? Like, and I've said this before, like, I don't ever want to act like I do make sacrifices, but like, I'm sacrificing, you know, like turkey legs off of like a feast. Like, I'm doing okay regardless.
Yeah, but would you ever go alt-right for any amount of money?
Don't say for any amount. For a reasonable amount of money, probably not.
That'll raise you from minimum wage at McDonald's to $80,000 a year.
If I was still working at McDonald's, I'm not sure. Maybe not.
Really?
Dude, being poor forever sucks. There's
some lines for you though, right?
The problem is that like for me now there's so many lines because like I'm like so in control of like who I am. I'm in control of how I engage with society. But like if I'm working a minimum wage, like, and my life is McDonald's, like society's fucked me, bro. Why the fuck would I care what I give back? Like, where's the social contract there? Like, I'm fucked forever. I have no future. I'm not getting promoted to anything meaningful. I can't go back to school. Like, my life is fucked. Why would I care if I fuck society a little bit up on the way out? Like, that would be how I might see it. But I mean, like, maybe that's not like the best way to view things. But damn, like, society is like a buy-in, and like we all help each other and shit. And if I'm getting fucked, like, why would I care?
I think that you say that, Destiny, but I don't think you could do it.
Maybe
done the carpet cleaning.
Sure, maybe me personally, maybe not. But I would be like, if people did it, it would be really hard for me to judge.
You can understand it.
Yeah.
But given the choice between like, take I don't know, Tommy Lauren is that or one of these other soulless ghouls who propagate the kind of conspiracy theories and vitriol and nonsense. You know, given the choice between that life and a janitor position someplace, I think both of us would admire like the hardworking janitor, and you know, given the choice between those two options, we would commend everyone who went the janitor path and not the Tommy Lauren path.
Yeah, but what's the? It's kind of like when you're working like a shit job and people are like, oh, like you guys are heroes, like you guys are doing a great job. It's like, okay, fucking pay me, right? Like, what is the commendation worth at the end of the day? Especially if that person has like family or people like relying on them. Like, what's that worth?
You can absolutely understand people who take the other route. You can understand them.
I can understand it, but I don't even know. It's hard. I don't know if I would advocate for it. Like, it's a hard one. I would have to spend time thinking about this, or I would need like a few minutes. Like, I don't know if I would advocate like, bro, you need to give everything up and like follow the moral path. Like, I don't know if I could. I'm not sure if I could do that. I don't know.
Let me get you on at least on this.
Go for it. Yeah.
If it's a mild to moderate loss in status or an income in exchange for clarifying for the world where you stand and for doing the right thing, that's something you do. And that's something that you would want anyone else to do.
If it's like a moderate, yeah, I think I probably would. Yeah.
Right. And what's more is, first of all, I'm not convinced that it wouldn't be profitable for whoever we're talking about. I
mean, how many people, like, being honest, I'm not trying to jerk myself up, but like, besides me, how many people have successfully, like, I've almost conditioned my audience to be ready for big changes because of how I am as a person. Who else does that on the internet, though, and is still successful? Because people keep pointing to, like, why can't Lauren be like Hunter? Like, I'm not trying to rag on Hunter, but, like, that dude, like, Sudoku'd his whole career changing. Like, who else does that?
People sacrifice significantly their interest to do the right thing, whether that's working a public interest job instead of taking the big corporate paycheck, whether that's not taking the bribe. If I don't know, if you're in some industry where that happens, there are a lot of people who put morals and ethics above maximizing their financial status. And I'm not saying, if it wouldn't change anything, which I think is your position, right? If an apology wouldn't change anything, maybe you'd be right that who really cares? But I think it might change.
So here's like the way that I would view it from her perspective is there's two huge things. Is that one, it wouldn't have any meaningful impact on any of the discourse, right? Like the main pushers of Great Replacement for the past like 3 to 4 years have no association with Lauren whatsoever. So that's like one thing that there's like, in terms of impacting like the current discourse, it's almost negligible. And then number 2, it would only have a negative impact in her community and a negligible impact in other people's communities. Because like no lefty or center-leaning person is ever looking at somebody like her and being like, well, you know, she apologized, right? Everybody would say like, it's a grift, it's a grift, it's a grift. Like she blah, blah. Especially if she still is, you know, relatively conservative immigration. If she made that video and then she came out, she's like, well, look what happened in Sweden, guys. Like we said it, like there's problems with immigration. And be like, we said it? You said what? That Jews were concocting the Great Replacement? Boom, bitch, you were a hypocrite. Wanna Be Sad Boy would be making an effort post about how she's grifting about her apology. So like all she'd be doing is pissing off her own fans, alienating more people from the right, which is honestly probably where she's ever gonna draw fans from. She's not gaining any ground on the left. She's not like righting any wrongs in the world. Nothing good. It's literally like lost in every single like meaningful capacity. Like what is even the, other than if she was like of this like maybe astounding character where she was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take like a loss in like every single conceivable area and not even do any good for the world, and I'm just gonna make this video because I think it's the right thing to do. Like I don't even know if I would. I
think that you're underestimating the good it could potentially do.
What would be the good though? Like
I think you're right that the crazies on either side, they're going to crazy. That the left-wing people on Twitter will never accept her given their past. But I think we need examples of, you know, if we ever want, which you've expressed in the past, that you want to get over this cancel culture and you want to
and like, but look at where I'm at, bro. Like I'm planning for retirement. Okay, I'm banned on Reddit. I'm banned on Twitter. I'm banned on Twitch. Like, am I the advocate that you want to point to for like, well, look at how Destiny says to do it? Like, I'm going Hunter's route right now, and not even because I'm losing fans.
I'm not saying you, not necessarily you. Although, to be fair, you know, you got banned on Reddit.
Yeah, because you can't call people retarded on Reddit. I fucked up. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and I'm like 20,000 miles to the left of even current day Lauren on these issues. So like, I'm like sinking in the fucking immigrant waters. You're like, Lauren, come swimming. You have to do this. Trust me. It's worth it. Like,
okay. I understand. I think that, you know, I'm an optimist. I believe that everyone is sort of redeemable. And I think that it's possible that her or other people may have,
I think, okay, hold on. I just want to be clear here.
Minds a little bit.
If like when you're talking about redemption, that's a different type of argument. If you're saying that like it's morally redeemable to address past wrongs, then like I could kind of agree that she should probably make some kind of statement.
I think we want to encourage that. I think we need to encourage people to recognize faults openly and publicly. You know, when you're wrong about a debate, the people we you know, that we appreciate the most are the people who like bite the bullet, or the people who like apologize and they're like, I was actually wrong about it.
It's so hard for me to ask people to martyr themselves. So like, here's a position that I feel very strongly about. Okay, I hate fucking filters on Instagram, and I hate almost all makeup. Okay, except for like concealer if you have bad skin. Sure, I really don't like any of it. I really like the way that women naturally look, and I think that most people would if they were conditioned to see it. But I have a really hard time going to like messaging like Iman and be like, hey, can you please stop wearing makeup? As like an industry leader, I think it'll set a good sit-up, right? She's gonna be like, what the fuck? You want me to martyr myself? You want me to get like, and it would be good for her to do it. I think it would be of good moral character for her to do it. But like, damn, am I really gonna say like, you need to be the one to martyr yourself to like lead the way on this? Like, that just seems like it's a hard ask, especially when there's no good. Like let's say that I was like connected to Lauren's brand. I could tell her to do anything. Okay, let's say I had the connection, right? And I tell like, Lauren, you need to make this video that like half disavows it, because she still probably believes that like there is some kind of replacement happening. I mean, objectively, right?
But not the full way, right?
Not the right. Yeah, and like she does like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm asking her to like make a video that's gonna get like 80,000 views. It's gonna be majority thumbs down. It's gonna probably make more of her audience think she's either turning into a libcuck or whatever. It's gonna be ammo for the farther right people that think she's turned into a huge libcuck, sellout, loser, whore. And then it's going to, everybody on the left is gonna accuse her of grit. Like Jesus Christ. This is like some Jesus Christ levels of like self-flagellation, you know?
Would it be the right thing to do?
Probably, I think. Yeah. But like such a small, like it's the right thing to do to like pick up trash when you see it on the street. If here's something that would change my argument significantly. If it was like 2018, I think I would lean way harder into it. Like you're one of the more popular people online. You get a lot of coverage. You're pushing this. Like, you walking this back now or saying you got things wrong, I think would actually have like some meaningful, even though you might suffer a loss, it would have like a meaningful impact on the discourse. But like 5 years later, like this video you made when you were 20, like I need you to like start disavow, like I don't know, like we're so far past to that point. Tucker Carlson is like pushing this shit so hard. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I listen, on terms of like the relative actors here, I think you've been on point in your comparisons here, and people's focus ought to be on the worst actors, excuse me, like Tucker Carlson. But I think your time horizon is short, not just with respect to everyone and how they would come to accept someone who previously had some problematic views, but also for the person themselves.
What do you mean?
Look at what Kyle Rittenhouse is doing in the wake of his acquittal.
Mm-hmm. He's like making like the whole like conservative
in
media
a box to be a tool for other people, and forever to be condemned as this reactionary figure when that didn't need to be his story. And it doesn't need to be Lauren's either.
I mean, like, but like, this is why it's hard for me to like Kyle Rittenhouse. It was obvious the way that he was going to go, because look at how people on the left treated him. Like, they called him a Nazi murderer. Like, he murdered
mistake,
3 black people.
Right? I understand why it happened.
Yeah, I agree. I understand it's a mistake, but like, I can't sit here and give this like hardcore class environmental analysis of everybody in society and then turn to these people and say, like, sorry, bro, you need to be the exceptional martyr. Like, Rittenhouse is always going to go this way if the left treated him this way. I don't even blame him for it. The kid is fucking 18. Like,
I understand that, but I don't think it's good for him in the long run.
Maybe like morally, or like, yeah,
10
probably
years,
not.
In 10, 20 years, I think that he'll come to regret the associations that he's making now, and the way he's leaning and really being used by people.
I don't know if that's true. Like, let's say there's like another. It's so hard because we can't run counterfactuals. But like, let's say there's a world where he comes out and he goes on Tucker Carlson. And he's like, you know what? Like, I actually wish I wouldn't have gone to that with a gun. I think it was a mistake. Nobody needed to die. Like, I think that the way that conservatives are trying to hijack my narrative is really toxic. Everybody on the right would kick him out.
That's true, right? Destiny, you agree with that?
With what I just said?
Yes.
Absolutely. 100%. I think that's true. But let's say he says all that. Let's say he does it. He has like the big moral 18-year-old. He figures it out, right? He comes out and that's what he says, right? If he were to do that, he's going to be excised from every right-leaning community ever. People on the left are still going to call him like a white nationalist grift. He's not getting any credit over there. People in the center don't care, and they're going to move on. And then he's an irrelevant nobody that probably is going to already get kicked out of college. He's like, his name is forever fucked. Like, that's just like I don't think I would ever expect a person to do that. That's just such a huge order. Like, you're looking at like potentially like this is like a life-altering path you're on in like the best way possible, and I want you to give all of that up to take a moral stand on something that is going to make zero difference one way or another.
In the short term, I think that you're probably right in terms of what his relative interests are, but I think that things change, dramatically. And look right now at the skeptic, quote unquote, community, how well they're doing after 5 or so years. That at that time, what was in their best interest monetarily was to despise feminism, was to be part of this movement. But times change, and what's good for you in the short term isn't necessarily good in the long term. And I worry, genuinely worry about people that they're boxing themselves in and they're closing themselves off to other potential happiness and joy and experience by failing to recognize potential fault in themselves and doubling down. They're making themselves more limited. And one more thing I want to hit on, and then I'll stop boring you. I know that it's late for you too. If I really felt bad about something, if you really feel bad about something, you want to apologize or you want to make amends anyway. You don't need to be told.
Well,
right?
It depends.
You feel it. You feel it every day. You wear it.
But here's the issue. Okay, let's say that I bully Keffels. Okay, let's say that I bully Keffels really hard.
This is the person who got you banned on Twitch.
I don't know if she did, but she like led the charge, right? Let's say that I bully the fuck out of Keffels. And let's say that one day, let's say that I go like too far or something. I'm trying to think of what, like, let's say I call her fat or something. I don't know, like something that I shouldn't say, right? Let's say that I get to that point, right? Now, let's say that it's like 2 or 3 years later, and I look back and I'm like, okay, I probably shouldn't call her fat, but people aren't accusing me of calling her fat. People are accusing me of being a transphobic monster that makes fun of her genitals and wants her to 41% herself and fucking murder herself, and I fucking hate trans people, right? if I go out in front of that audience and make any apology whatsoever, it sounds like I'm owning all of that. Like, even if I do feel bad for what I've said, it's like, fuck, you know, like I should have said this particular thing. Like, if I come on and I try to apologize at all, what am I owning all of that? Am I that monster? Like, okay, you guys are right. I'm sorry for this thing. Like, because now
What
it
if
looks
you had made a racist attack?
Racist or transphobic attack. Like maybe any of it. I don't know.
What if you had said that because she's transphobic, or because she's a certain race, she's vile? If you said something like that.
Sure.
Wouldn't that be something that would weigh? First of all, everyone else would want you to apologize for good reason and disavow that view, but that would weigh heavily on you, wouldn't it? The fact that you said that, even to your worst enemy, you apologize not even necessarily for them, though partially for them, but for yourself. And I understand that's why you say that apologies you often observe this in other people, that apologies seem so self-serving, and it's really not a weighty thing unless there's some change behind it. That's why you've said in the past, I think, I don't care about apologies, right? But I think that's good for you as an individual to apologize. It can benefit the person that you've wronged, and everyone else gets the signaling effect of you being the bigger person, of you being mature enough to recognize that
I wish
fault.
there is a world that exists where I agree with you, but it's not this one. We're many world lines removed from that one. Like, if that was the case, that apology reverberates in a positive way in that manner, then I think I would be more akin to agree with you. But I think that, like, if I came out and apologized at all, I think anytime I saw that on Twitter later, it would be like, oh, Destiny did actually apologize for being a transphobic fucking piece of shit. Like, Destiny actually apologized for hating fucking trans. It's like, no, like, and then it's like.
But the other extreme is that we're all Trump.
I think that like knowing that you did something wrong and kind of like quietly moving away from it, never probably disavowing it, and then just kind of like moving in a different direction. And I don't think that that's necessarily the same as Trump, right? Trump is constantly owning and saying like insanely stupid, horrible shit. I think it's the difference, right? Like, let's say theoretically, if Trump came back, if he ran for president again, and he was actually the man that I thought he could have been on the campaign trail, where you got flashes of him being like an actual showman or whatever, like an actual like, oh, maybe he can actually do shit. And maybe this sounds crazy, but like, I wouldn't care to hear him like disavow the comments he made about Mexicans or Muslims or whatever. I wouldn't give a fuck. If he was like a good man, he ran the country well, he didn't do any of his crazy immigration walls.
It's a beautiful example. It's a beautiful example because this is someone who hasn't made those concessions and apologies along the way for their misdeeds has lost credibility. No one will believe him.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Lauren is the same, right? Like, nobody would believe her for anything either, right?
Well, they won't now, because I think that you agree that she and others can be evasive when they're dealing with their pasts.
Yeah, but the problem isn't the evasiveness, right? I could be wrong if I say this, but I'm guessing if we do this fucking debate, if I ask her, Lauren, do you think it was wrong to go out on a boat and shoot flares at another vessel illegally in the water? Do you think that was a wrong thing to do?
I think you should keep it open. I understand you're going into thing, but just if you were going to ask the question, I would pose it. Is there anything?
No, I wouldn't pose it open. That's the problem, because the problem is that there's like. Of all the accusations against her, they're incredibly wide. And if she were, I'm guessing, to apologize for anything, it would be a very narrow set of things. But it feels very wide when people are asking for concessions. That's the issue, right? People don't want her to concede for going into the water and they want her to concede for trying to murder immigrants that were coming to the country to watch them drown and die. That's what they want her to apologize for, right?
And she feels that she shouldn't apologize that because she never had that.
Yeah, she doesn't want to own all of that negativity. Like, that wasn't what. Yeah, that's like.
By the way, I think that you shouldn't apologize for something if you don't feel it. If you don't actually feel that you did anything wrong, or that you don't, you should only ever apologize for things that you did that were wrong.
Sure.
And so I don't think that. And I also don't necessarily think that you need to have like a big mea culpa cry fest necessarily. But I just think for the benefit of everybody, for the benefit of the person themselves, and for the benefit of you for having to field these obnoxious inquiries all the time, because I agree with you. I think people are redeemable, and they're not beyond redemption. Okay, some things, if you push me hard enough, I'll say they're beyond redemption, at least in this lifetime. If you really push me on your, I don't know.
Yeah, they've like a serial rapist of like 20,000 children
in your pocket. Sure. I think it would do them well to reconsider. It would do them well to reconsider for themselves.
Sure, I think I would probably agree. But then you have to acknowledge that it's probably, this is almost going to completely be like a personal redemption thing. When I say personal, I mean to yourself. There's going to be almost no public credit for it, and there's going to be a moderate public cost for it on your side and on the opposing side.
For now, immediate pain, but over time, everyone's going to call me a coper.
I understand what you're saying, but like over time, but like we have people today that are being canceled for shit they said when they were 13 or 14. What was that one girl that said like the one in the car, like I can drive, like with the N word, the A, whatever, and then that black kid held it until she got to college and then got her fucking kicked out of school because of shit she posted on TikTok when she was 14. Like you're telling me that in this world people are going to see a redemption from like somebody that isn't Lauren banned from like 3 different fucking countries for like her activism?
I wasn't trying to get into particulars necessarily.
Sure, but I'm just saying that like this is you're going to tell like how, like imagine I'm talking to a one-on-one, okay? Imagine I'm staring at her face to face, okay? I'm in her room looking at her and I'm like, Lauren, the same world that cancels people from being Vogue editors for saying Asian TAs are too rough 10 years ago, that world is going to forgive you if you just make an apology video disavowing very specific things.
It's a hard sell.
It's impossible. Well, it's not a hard sell. You're saying like, I basically am saying like, I want you to do, or you're telling this person, I want you to do this thing with apps. I
want you to do the right thing.
Yeah, but there's going to be no public benefit for it. Probably a lot of public pain for it. You're not even really going to make the world a better place. And
why you saying it's the right thing? You're saying it for a reason. Why do you think it's the right thing for her?
I personally have a strong moral code that I'm willing to give up a lot for, but I don't think most other people are. It's a tall ask for a lot of people, especially if she was like a kid. Like she's got like. And I don't know what her financial situation looks like past what she does on YouTube now, right? My understanding is she's basically been gone from politics for like fucking 3 years, right? Ever since she moved to Australia and then came back.
I think that there are people who would respect that decision. I don't think
I agree with you, but I agree with you. There are people, but they're few and far between. What?
The proof is in the pudding. The fact that you're getting so much attention about it, the fact that you're getting so many messages about it, that's the proof you need that there aren't individuals who won't care, because and there'll be new people who will call you weak and a shill and all the things you said. But
like the problem is like, who besides me who does this? And look at the cost it's been to me, like in terms of like cutting people out of my life, in terms of like axing certain fan bases, in terms of sacrificing like potentially like
this is why they'll remember your name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You mean when people in the future are like, hey, who started Twitch politics? And like, I think it was Hassan. I saw it in a few videos. Like, I'm literally fucking Peter Dinklage in like Game of Thrones, right? Like, save the city with wildfire, and everybody gives fucking Joffrey or whatever credit for it. Like, that's most likely how it's going to be remembered from 10 years from now, right? Unironically, like that is going to be the case. Hassan will continue to grow probably, or do decently with a Zoomer audience. Younger people come in and flush out the older people. Like Hassan is like the face of Twitch politics, and that's kind of what it is.
Whose VODs are people going to watch in 20 years?
Whose VODs? I don't think people will watch VODs. I don't think they'll give a fuck. People consume like immediate content. They don't look at videos 5 years ago. If they did, I'd be blaming Lauren more for the Buffalo shooter. But I don't think anybody engages with like past shit. Like I can probably go look at my YouTube. I was like nobody's watching. Like, bro, I just saw the JonTron debate. It was awesome. Like nobody's saying that. They're like, oh, I just saw this last video on fucking TikTok. Let me scroll for another one.
Just you wait. I think that you're under. There are a lot of artists or public people in the time who were not respected, never gained any prominence. Now I know we live in a different age, but
I think the different age thing is a big deal. Like there's so much content now,
Okay, that's fair. I think some of your content stands the test of time, to be fair.
I mean, like the epic and funny content does, but like in terms of like, I don't know if anybody's going to watch any long form debates I had like 5 or 10 years from now. I'm not sure. Maybe, but
like any of the ones I'm involved in.
Of course, those ones, yeah.
How you doing? You back in Florida?
Yeah, I'm just hanging out in Miami. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you go now. Thank you for.
Did you watch that movie yet?
No, but I'm gonna watch it this weekend.
Bro, how many friends are you taking?
I might take my mom.
Buy 2 tickets each. Okay, this movie needs more sales. It's on track to be the most successful movie, but it's a good ass movie. It's real good. Okay.
Yeah, my mom is coming to visit me, so I was thinking about taking her and maybe my brother to see it.
Take your brother too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is it that good?
It's really good. Hold on, ask my chat now that they've all seen it, because a lot of people thought I was exaggerating. Dan and Mooten agree that I'm exaggerating, but maybe I don't know who can tell if everybody thinks I'm getting like a whole bunch of people in on the joke or whatever. But
we got some nodders, some feels okay mans. Destiny, quick question for you. What do I have to do to get Pepe Jam as an emote?
Pepe Jam.
Yeah. There's a Dino Jam.
What does Dino Jam look like?
It's like bumping with headphones, and we have nodders, but we don't have one that has headphones. And so I was wondering what I would have to do.
Maybe nodders maybe he's wearing earbuds.
I think it deserves
How many
a separate-
jam emotes do we fucking need, dude? Jesus.
We need one more.
Okay, ask the emote guys. I think isn't Igor or somebody? I don't know who implements emotes in my chat. It's not me. Okay.
Okay, I'll ask him. Mm-hmm. But we have you on record that you'd be pseudo in favor of it.
I don't even control emotes in my chat. I'm in favor of anything. Sure.
Okay. All right, I'll watch the movie.
Yeah, when are you watching it?
I think Saturday.
Okay, good.
Which is tomorrow, right?
True. Today, right now.
Today.
Wait, what time are you supposed to watch? You're not gonna miss it, are you?
No.
Okay, get lots of sleep so you can be fully awake and appreciate it. Okay.
Do I have to? It's something I have to like follow along with, right? Is it a foreign movie?
Yes, it is, but it's super accessible. Like a 12-year-old could follow everything. It's not like you're not gonna have to exercise your brain a lot for it. Okay.
Is it like Squid Game?
No, Jesus Christ. Okay.
What?
No, it's not like fucking Squid Game. Why would you say that? Because they're all Asian? Bro.
No. I hope it didn't come out that way.
That is exactly how it came out.
All right. I'll watch it and I won't think about any other foreign movie.
Thank you.
You got anything else for me?
I'm trying to think. Are we trying to... It's in English? Half the movie is subtitled. What the fuck are you talking about?
Did you call me Urine Corporation? I was rewatching the video where I was debating with the lawyers, and I saw you in chat saying something about Urine Corporation.
I don't know. People just type a lot of random shit in chat, and I'm just gonna throw it along there, you know.
Okay.
How's are you lawyering yet?
I work for a law firm. I swear in for the bar. Sorry, swear in to the courts so that I'm admitted to practice in about 10 days.
Damn. What's
Well,
your
less than 2
first
weeks.
case gonna be?
I already have cases in terms of ones that I'm working on. Although
Wait,
I'm not.
what do you want to be? Do you want to be like a trial lawyer, or what is your goal? Or do you not know yet? Or
I'm
what?
I'm already working in litigation. So,
Okay. So is that your
I'm a
goal?
law clerk right now. So I'm not a lawyer yet because even though I passed the bar, even though I went to law school, even though I debated on the quote unquote lawyer panel, I'm not a lawyer. My position currently is quote law clerk. And once I am admitted to practice, I'll then be an associate at my law firm.
Gotcha.
And I'll be in litigation. And we do a bunch of stuff. I do immigration. I do some stuff on commercial contracts, lease disputes, some white collar stuff, all sorts of different things.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else, babe?
No, almost set. Thank you guys. Thank you, chat, and have a great night.
Have fun. Peace out, buddy.
Yep.